make sure to swap before I go any further on this. Yes, this is live for Take fucking Two. Take Two Interactive, ironically. Because for some reason, right after I went through the first discount, when I was going for the remaining discounts on the website, the stream decided to end randomly with a broadcast stop message on the fucking PS5, apparently, which is really fucking annoying. And yeah, I was watching Pokemon Presents, which probably only would have given me like another 25-30 minutes. Not sure if that even would have been enough for me, but whatever. Whatever. I almost got it done on first take, but apparently I have to do it again. Indeed, Hernia. Come on. Hello. Hello. Is a Sinister Gambino here with a new stream. In this stream, I'm going to be going over the event week for this week from very early Thursday. Once again, decided to do a Tuesday stream later than I want to again, because internet issue apparently or something. In Grand Theft Online or whatever. But yes. Starting off, going into the title of the stream, I did event week stream, not week edition, so it looks like no brand new content whatsoever. Once again, for the second week in a row here. Not the most surprising, given they released a ton of new vehicles. Not one event, like, 3 weeks ago or something at this point? Basically. But yes. On the bright side, there is a new thing of content actually already on it 2 times money and RP if you're going for like the new tier 4 for money fronts or something. For a Mr. Faber work. Now these are kind of basically contact missions, but you have to do them in like your hands on car wash, against Salvatore, smoke on the water, pretty sure. I believe you also need to not have maximum heat to start it, so it does count as illegitimate work, like the money laundering missions. Now these you can also, again, do in all 3 properties, and they're basically all the same. There's 6 different missions, apparently. Actually, I haven't done them yet myself, actually. I didn't necessarily know 100% you're gonna put these on 2 times this quick. I had a feeling, but like, I wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't do the stream. Didn't do a stream going over the missions, and yeah, I still got Quickie Farm even to show off, so I might do those for a stream at some point soonish now. Not just happened. Maybe it's an extra stream next event or something. Something. Maybe. But yeah, Mr. Faber work. Yeah, again, they're kind of glorified contact missions. So you do have to go into a separate lobby, and then also they probably have traditional like contact mission kind of payouts, like 30, 40-ish K or something, I forget. 20, 30-ish K at least on normal, so maybe like 50-ish K, like up to 1 or 2 times or something. Not amazing per se. Money laundering was definitely a better one to have for the couple weeks that happened. For like the initial week on the car wash, the week after I think through the Higgins, and then I think 2 weeks after because of the Independence when they didn't do any for smoke in the water. So yeah, it's obviously second event that's for the Independence one where there's not a 2 times in the money laundering missions, which makes sense obviously because it's pretty new content. It's kind of crazy they were even doing it as early as they did. It was probably just because it aligned with something with the Plus, basically, I assume, for what it kind of did, like a regular event alternative. It's Plus obviously had it on like 4 times, said 2 times, obviously. But yeah. Those are free mode missions at least, so obviously they are very worthwhile compared to these. I haven't played them, so I can't exactly explain all 6 missions. I'll recommend like watching Gilly Master though. Gilly Master actually released a pretty good video about like tier 4 in general, and like Mr. Faber works. I think he did a particular video for that even. But a couple 100,000 subscriber YouTuber with pretty good guides for that kind of content. Definitely, I would say to refer to there. If not yet heard or watched Goodness or anything. And yeah, apparently if you have to do it, select to visit your car wash. I guess if you already have it, or answer the call for Mark to get started. If you have not yet done that, okay, at the bottom. But yeah, they're not that great, but sadly it might also be the best discount, which I kind of know. Or no, money opportunity, yes, yes. Might sadly be the best money opportunity though, since I already went over it on take 1. That was supposed to be the one to get uploaded, but nah. Stream ended randomly, apparently. Because fuck this world. Fuck this world. Yeah, I think that was it, quite frankly, on here for this one. It being new content's kind of highlight one, and therefore probably one of the best things to be doing for the event if you're trying to stick to 2 times in particular. Okay, trio of vehicle discounts here for 40% off. I believe every single vehicle is 40% off. I do know there's also not a property discount from take 1 that like almost as it'll get done, but sadly not, because fuck this world again. Again. Yes. There's 40% off of the Mammoth Hydra for the plane class, Gassi Russo for the supercar class, and then the Class A Drogger for the off-road class. But yeah, Mammoth Hydra is basically like a worse F-160 Raiju nowadays, with that being released ever since San Andreas Mercenaries like 2-ish years ago. So that was like the summer 2023 update. It was a returning plane, basically, like fighter jet from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which is really cool, of course. But yeah, the weaponry on it are missiles, which the missiles do have a cooldown for this particular vehicle. So you have up to 2 missiles at a time you can use, and then you have to wait like a couple seconds. Every fighter jet has that, including the F-160 Raiju, so it's not a big deal. It's kind of really a way of them balancing the fighter jet vehicles, I feel, having the missile cooldown, even for the newest one. So yeah, it's not like the Savage that came out with the same heist DLC that the Hydra came out in, where it has like the unlimited, like no cooldown missiles, where you can just spam them like one after the other, no matter what, pretty much. This one you do have like a couple seconds you have to wait after you fire 2 at a time, so just be aware of that when you're in grinding contents and stuff. No. It does also have an explosive cannon, which sadly got nerfed of that San Andreas Mercenaries DLC, where they introduced the new F-160 Raiju, since, as far as I understand, they kind of use the same explosive cannons for every single fighter jet, for like the Laser Hydra and the F-160 Raiju I'm talking about in particular for those 3. But it's good for destroying vehicles still. Just obviously probably have to hit more direct compared to like before, like pre-nerf and everything. But obviously explosive cannon's always pretty nice for destroying like a vehicle or something. And then yeah, this also has the vertical takeoff landing VTOL kind of feature. What's which yes. Yes, recommend on which yes allows you to use it like a helicopter and a plane, which is very huge for grinding contents. So it's a very good grinder-friendly vehicle if you do not yet have a Mammoth F-160 Raju or whatever, basically. For the latest one with Sanders and Mercenaries DLC for like that kind of fighter jet. Which basically does all the same things that Raju does, plus has stealth and stuff, basically. Yeah, it's obviously much better for that newer one. It's definitely super speedy and stuff, but since weaponized, I already talked a lot about the vehicles, so I'm just going to move on with that one. And then onto the Bugatti Russo supercar. But yes. Credit for any vehicle performance that go over will go over to Bruffy 1322, and yes, go from Bruffy 1322. Credit goes to that YouTuber for any vehicle performance I just had to go over, basically. So Bugatti Russo. From earlier, I remember that one's apparently in the E tier for the supercar class. And it is 32nd place in lap time and in 31st place top speed. And ironically, there's exactly 64 supercars in the game, so that actually somehow ends up turning out to be just barely above average for the class, technically speaking, if you include all 64. Thing is, though, yeah, 3 of them are non-raceable vehicles. If you consider that, it's technically below average, but also if you remove HSW, that's like -4 vehicles out of like 60. That would basically be like 28th, and then, yeah, 27th, basically. So even with that into account, in that case, it would be barely above average anyways, so... Yeah, Deserto's, I mean, it's at least above average for both metrics, but it's like at the bottom of that kind of point, so... It's not in the 10s. It's also not in the 20s if you're in the 9th generation version of the game, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, PC enhanced. So I'd mostly probably just get it if you want it for like some sort of personal preference, customization kind of reason. I'd really get it for customization, personal preference, if anything, really. If it's not kind of low, really. However, another really good one is actually the Class A Draugr. That's actually the best non-HSW off-road vehicle in the game when it comes to the off-road class. So for non-HSW, it's the best lap time. So it's basically third place lap time on the newer platforms. This is 2 HSWs. Yes. It also does, yes, give it the top of the A tier. Very top of the A tier for off-road class. But any and all vehicle performance goes over roughly 152, so if I don't mention that later on, just know that from his spreadsheet and stuff. Yes, the classic Draugr. Top A tier, just beneath the 2 HSWs, which means it is the #1 lap time for the off-road class if you are on the legacy platforms of PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC Legacy. So it's extremely good. And it's also 10th place on the top speed, which means it would even have 8th place top speed if you're on the legacy platforms or HSW's excluded or something. On a certain race or something. So yeah, Draugr is extremely good for off-road. Hydra and the Draugr are both very good buys if you can afford them. So that's the trio of 40% off vehicle discounts that's going over on the online menu here. Next, for the last being on the main menu directly here is G's Cash. That will be for 2 times money in RP, surely with 2 times rewards, it's saying. I think also gives like snacks and stuff. I assume that would be like regular, since obviously you don't usually get snacks in a lot of contents. Yeah, 2 times pretty much for money RP, basically. Mm-mm. Yeah, these you can actually find with the Terabyte collectible scanner. I was kind of mentioning that actually my first take, and then I ended up going to the what's new section appeared there, and I even actually suggested that too, which was interesting. I didn't actually expect that to happen. But yeah, they actually advertised that on there, which is cool. So yeah, the best way to do it is if you have the Terabyte and that Terabyte collectible scanner that came out in the last update and Sabotage. That'll actually pretty much give you like an exact location on it, I believe. Asides for like the little radius and stuff they have you searching normally with like vibrations and whatnot on your controller. Or of course, if you don't have that, that's pretty much the next best thing to do in game, anyways. Also, there's something called GTAWeb.eu that I've used before, like a collector map, basically for the basically a collector map. I mean, for GTA Online. So you could probably use something like that, even though probably like give you the exact location even without doing that if you wanted. Assuming that every player has the same location, of course, and I'm sure it would be labeled on something like that. And then, and even if not, there might be some way it's labeled anyways on something like that. Something like that. But yeah, I don't know. You might get something like 30, 40K. I'm guessing on money on this. Really. For just a simple package for four, yes, just a simple package to collect. It's not all that bad, really. I would say, might not be too far off of Mr. Faber work for for something you can do just in free mode. Might not be too far off of Mr. Faber work for money on it 2 times. However, G's cash is just once per day, basically. I think it resets at the same time like daily objectives do at like 11 p.m. or something right now for like my time at least, Pacific Standard Time. Or something. But yes, it's on to basics of GTA Online for the what's new section. So I went over everything basically on that one section. Join GTA Plus for benefits. Yes. Yeah, the new vehicle, the free vehicle for the month is the Bravado Buffalo EVX muscle car, which is actually an electric Monitech slash HSW vehicle, which is really good. I believe this one's pretty full-fledged on features, aside for one or maybe even two. But it has armor plating. I kind of don't think this one has Boris glass though, unfortunately. It might though, but I don't think it does. One thing I know for sure it doesn't have is the front mounted machine gun, since only the initial contract DLC batch where Minetech even had that feature. Stuck mines it does have. I'm definitely certain on this one. I think I've definitely tried using it for HSW time trial and I couldn't since I had the slick mine on it basically. and then yeah, either the choice of missile lock-on jammer or remote control unit. I think either of the two honestly work pretty good on this vehicle, quite frankly. And yeah, I mentioned electric Amani-Tech for a reason. Not only is it a good choice for a remote control unit for that reason, remote control unit actually works very good for the electric ones, but also there's a patrol tank mechanic there. Yes, I think is a patrol tank mechanic or something they have for the electric Amani-Tech vehicles in particular, where regular RPGs actually do the exact same damage as a homing launcher in those cases, so technically the armor is the best on the electric Amani-Tech vehicles for Amani-Tech in particular. Whereas, of course, regular armored ones that aren't electric, apparently the RPGs actually do more damage than the homing launchers do, apparently. So because RPG and homing launcher actually do the same damage, it actually makes out even more in the armor department for that reason, so that's very good. that's why I'm highly saying this is a very good vehicle, since it's one of the most armored money tech things. And of course, if it's a lock-on jammer in combination with that, that's very, very good. But yeah, again, it's electric, so remote control unit works very good as well. So it's a very damn good money tech vehicle, and you can get it for the $8 a month subscription instead of having to pay the in-game currency. Kind of a good deal there, technically. Technically. Yeah, shark cards. Yeah, for some reason they're advertising that for me. And yeah, I didn't mention yet, but yeah, 4 times for plus. Or actually, I might have mentioned it. Actually, I actually might have. Fuck, it's hurting me, bro. But yes, yes, yes. I presume on 4 times you could probably make like 80 to 100k or something like that. I'm guessing on these missions. I would definitely take a guess there. And yeah, if you complete 5, apparently, yeah, you get the wiki challenge for the $100,000 bonus. But yeah, 5 of them on like 2 times probably gets you like a couple 100,000, like asides for the 100k basically, I believe. Like maybe 200k asides for like 200k for like 300k, and then I could see, of course, 5 of them being like 500k up to if the 100k here, that would be not yes, would maybe like 600k, of course, if you have plus, if you have the 500k for the missions and the 100k for that. For 5 of them, you need around there at least, around there at least for both non-plus and plus. I'm guessing. There's also apparently 2 times money in RP on time trials. Now, it's named like the traditional set of time trials that started being a thing with the heists DLC, I'm pretty sure. So it's probably just a traditional time trial. I don't assume it's every single type of them or anything. Because there's also RC Bandito and Junk Energy. I assume it's not counting that. Of course, there's also HSW, but I definitely don't assume that one's on 2 times, given that one gives you like 250k and it only is able to be done 1 time for the week. Unlike the other ones, which are more of like a daily set. So I think with the latest changes they ever did to time trials, like sometime like a little after San Andreas Mercenaries, I think before Chop Shop, they kind of changed it even after the initial San Andreas Mercenaries DLC release. So San Andreas Mercenaries, the daily ones, you are supposed to get like 50k each day. So I think you would be able to get 100k each day for the traditional time trial. So up to 7 days for the event, you could basically get up to like 700k-ish, I believe, if you did it like every single day. Now the change you did a little after, I think they used to change it each day, every day to a different time trial, like Darcy Bandito, Chunk Energy. But eventually down the line, they got tired of changing it or something, so it's basically one regular time trial for the whole week, I believe. So if you're really good with the one particular time trial that's on 2 times, you might be able to make easy 100k each day, basically. Again, up to like 700k. So like it is kind of good money opportunity. You could get a quick, easy 100k if you're pretty good at it. But yeah, again, it's limited to 1 time a day. It's like cheese cash, so just keep that in mind for the really good payout before it turns something like a measly $2,000 or something, of course, after you actually get it within part time, like a single time for the day. It's coast to coast right now or something, which does seem to be a top speed focused one. So especially if you're on 9th generation platforms, if HSW, it's probably pretty easy. But if you're on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, Legacy, I'll get into that, of course, later, like I usually do when I get into the game. But it's just reinstating the like 2 times like money RP, whatever for the cheese cash on this one. And again, it did mention a Terabyte collectible scanner, Which again, I mentioned before, I even got to this on my first take, so I actually predicted a feature apparently. Yeah, I actually wasn't even looking at. I didn't really look at the flavor text or any of it on like the news wire either, of course, because I just mostly look at the headline of it to know what it is, of course, most times. Yeah, from there, it's just your day one stuff for money friends, basically, that they have had on here for like a while now, basically. Free mode, I'll be doing for invite only, of course, for single player, like I usually do. Again, there is a new plus event. This actually goes until August 13th, by the way. I don't think I said that quite yet, but this one will go into August 13th, 2025. I already talked about the vehicle, obviously, since that was advertised earlier. Apparently, for GTA Plus games library, you can now have access to Grand Theft Auto Free, the quote unquote, I would say, definitive edition mobile as part of the GTA Plus games library. So you could basically get the iOS or Android version of it for mobile, basically. If you do have the subscription, you had the console version as an option, I believe, for like the longest time now. I believe for all three of them, but now it's including the mobile version as well. Kind of wish they would prioritize newer games or something, but the rumor might be there might be a Grand Theft Auto 4 like remaster, re-release or something happening for kind of similar to the Red Dead Redemption one they did. Basically, it'll be like pretty much exactly like the Red Dead Redemption one, probably same studio and like same like kind of release cadence and stuff or whatever. And supposedly, now again, it's the rumors, take it with a grain of salt, but GTA Series Videos actually posted a community post that might have been like a slip up suggesting it could happen as well. To be fair, so there's kind of a little bit of confirmation out there that very much might be a thing. If you go to like GTA Series Videos, and I think it was like their second community post, second latest one as of right now, basically. Besides for this event one, of course. But yes. I kind of wish they would prioritize like a newer game, or there's kind of plenty of older games they've released already, like Man on Max Payne or something that could probably feature. But yeah, they just don't. Also worth noting, Sony has released like newer PS1, PSP, PS2 emulators that they've flat out never used yet still since like 2022. In the case of PS2, I think that one was like 2024 for the newer PS2 emulator, not the older one, which obviously they did actually release ones on the older emulator in particular. I have to assume the reason they're not touching those emulators is because they, of course, now have this Plus subscription. They're being very stingy with the classic titles for that reason. Sadly, within those 3 years, we haven't got like GTA 1 or 2 or anything crazy like that. Like the PlayStation 4 or 5, unfortunately. Because Cockstar's a bitch, and they'd probably rather save that for Plus if they ever bother with it on Plus, which they, let's be real, they probably won't on their older games. They seem more focused on their more modern games with the Plus route, basically. Basically. I mean, they did add bully randomly, so anything's possible, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past Rockstar just neglect those. Cockstar to neglect those entirely for their subscription for like the longest time ever, or something. Something. But yes. Yeah, the console version was so poorly received, by the way, for Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition, I will say, which is why I said quote unquote Definitive Edition earlier. When it initially released back in 2021, because it wasn't it. It was, yes, from the same company, like War Drum Studios back then, Woke Drum Studios, as I like to call them, for that. Gross Street Games nowadays, or Gross Shit Games, as I like to call them, or something nowadays. Yeah, fucking. Same one that did the San Andreas back on the Xbox 360, that remaster back on that platform. That version is actually kind of even worse since it freezes up and like, yeah, completely like freezes up the console and stuff since it's that bad apparently. But yet they went with them again for this new one, which was pretty hilarious, and then of course it turned out the exact same way, though maybe a little bit better, ironically. Or like around the same again, but at least with better graphics and like actual like quality of life improvements and stuff. I believe. Free, ironically, I think ended up being the best one. Cause yeah, free at least has like the map you have on the newer versions of the game, of course, that you don't have on the older versions of the game. For the accessibility improvement, of course. And yeah, if I didn't say, ironically, the mobile version is probably the best one. They actually delayed the mobile versions because of the poor reception of the console versions, so I think they fixed it up by the time. I think they fixed it up, yes, by the time they released on the mobile platform. Basically. Like, I forget if it just came out like last year or 2023. In the case of mobile, it might have came out like 2023, and then console version might have got the fixes like last year. Ironically. I still don't necessarily know if they're one and the same, or if they still have more fixes to do in like the console version, or what though, or what though. Mm-mm. But yeah, mobile version, ironically, probably the best version, just because they held out on it. I think Netflix had an. I think Netflix had involvement. Tongue twister. Come on. Yes, I think Netflix actually had involvement with it, like the Netflix like video subscription kind of thing. They might have like a game company or something, as far as I've heard. And apparently, they were involved with it, and they were actually pretty good with it. They were actually pretty good with it, apparently. I think Video Games Deluxe or something fixed it for the consoles as well, or something as well. But again, I don't know if they're one and the same, technically speaking. There might still be fixes that need to happen for the console version. I'm not really sure, honestly. But yes. Yeah, mobile version is actually ironically the best version of the game. I talked about it for probably a couple minutes, like a few minutes or something. So probably for the interest of moving on to more of the meat of the contents and stuff. Obviously, I'll probably move on now. I don't know. Probably talked about it like a lot more on the other take, but yeah, this take fucking two hernia and stuff's not exactly improving. Yes. My hernia, like throat and stuff's not exactly improving and stuff, so I'm gonna move on. Basically. And now to see if there's anything else for Plus I want to go over before I go into the actual game. Some of it might save for the actual game. If I think it'll be easier to mention in game. Oh, and yeah, by the way, for the EVX to go more into performance, I'm not going to go over exact performance metrics since it's on the Plus subscription for one. I don't really subscribe to that, and then two, not on discount for regular players, surely. So whatever, all that kind of stuff. All might be something else I was going to mention here, but kind of forget it. But for lap time, I believe for lap time it's just behind the Vigero ZXs, the initial roofed one, and then the convertible one they released like a year later with like Chop Shop, basically. For the Criminal Enterprise DLC and Chop Shop ones. So it's had both the Arbor GT and the Tampa GT for lap time, and then top speed. Again, keep in mind this HSW vehicle if you're on these newer platforms, which you have to have the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, PC enhanced to even buy Plus, basically. And then for top speed, I think it's only ahead of Arbor GT for top speed. Every other one's actually ahead of it for Tampa GT. And then the two Vigero ZXs are better for top speed as well. As well. Which again, apparently it might be an electric one, so for that reason they're not usually good for top speed for electric vehicles, so but yeah, HSW vehicles tend to be the exception where they're actually pretty good still for top speed, regardless of being electric or not. Basically. At least in a couple cases, anyways. So it's third and like fourth best HSW vehicle for lifetime and then top speed. So it's pretty average when it comes to HSW in particular. And HSW is usually top to class, basically, so obviously it's really good in general for the muscle car class, so obviously very good performance going to that a little bit more in a way I kind of forgot to this time, I think. And again, Grand Theft Auto 3 Definitive Edition Mobile, yeah, again, kind of best version of the game, ironically, just because of the disaster of the console launch and stuff. And yeah, console PC got the launch at the same time, I'm pretty sure, so yeah, even mobile version in some ways, if you want the legitimate experience, obviously is the best way to play. Not counting like PC, obviously, where you can mod the game, obviously, and like fix it up yourself and stuff, obviously. Yes, obviously. Yes. So for clothing stuff, apparently there is the Blue Manor hoodie and shorts. Apparently, those are a couple clothing items. Apparently, yeah. And then chameleon paints apparently includes the light blue pearl chameleon paint and then the light blue pearl chameleon wheel paint. Again, that's matching light blue pearl chameleon paint for the body and then light blue pearl chameleon wheel paint for the wheels, of course. It's the same color for both of those. Already talked about the Mr. Faber work. Last few things I'll probably mention in the game, though. And last but not least, by the way, to go over some kind of like security improvement or something for the Rockstar Games launcher. Probably the most interesting, probably the most interesting thing to talk about would probably be the security thing for the like Rockstar Games launcher. Ironically, for the event, kind of being the one like actual new thing of content to even talk about, technically speaking. But yeah, this week, reading the paragraph word to word near the bottom of the newswire over like the plus promotion on the event newswire. This week, the Rockstar Games launcher received an update which now hides identifiable network information in the overlay by default when playing Rockstar Games PC titles, including GTA 5 Enhanced, whatever. But yeah, just sounds like a very good general security improvement. Don't know why it took as long as it did. One day even released Rockstar Launcher and the Games Launcher fucking with Red Dead Redemption 2 on like PC a little after or something. I kind of forget. I think it was definitely after the console versions of Red Dead Redemption 2, of course. Might have released with the PC version of the game or something for their launcher. I've been a fan for like quite a few years or something at this rate. Even like almost several years at this point or something. But yeah. As cybersecurity, I kind of cringe there, but yeah. Yes, yes. Alright, so single player invite only, like I said, to go into the actual game here. I will. Sorry, menu gets kind of finicky there at times. But that's what I was kind of doing a couple times or something. Sometimes we'll just revert to tab at a menu and go down on that. Like, to play GTA 9, it will just go back up or something, which is kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. You have to respawn my Woodlander again, since, again, I did a previous take of the stream. Since it was supposed to be done one and done, it was supposed to be one and done, but again, my stream randomly ended on me without my permission, expressive permission, when I was pretty much offered the first discount when I was on the vehicle website, going over claiming vehicle discounts, basically, near the end of the stream. I was very close to the end of the stream, but no, apparently that happened. That had to happen. That's broken. Come on. That did, yes, have to happen, unfortunately.
I'll get there as soon as I can.
Yes. For those that don't know, I'm starting at the car wash lately, since I like to go to Higgins Helicopters to get to a helicopter. Pretty conveniently, of course, being a new property, being a new aircraft-focused one, I was stepping on board for one to get to that each time. Basically, I launch into the lobby. Not get into the lobby, basically. So I think last one I did the Valkyrie, I believe, so I'm definitely going to be doing the Kanata. I know I got the Kanata again recently, and I showed off kind of recently, but I'm going to be showing all 12, like all dozen of these, basically. Plus my Pegasus ones as well, basically, for anything that can basically be spawned here. Until next update comes out. Fuck, I hernia, bro. Come on. Fuck. Yes. I'll show as much different aircraft as I can for the pick and sell towards at least until the next DLC comes out. Basically, just so people know. But yes. The Kanata, pretty interesting one, kind of. It's the #1 lap time for the entire helicopters class. I believe #1 top speed goes to the Sparrow. So yeah, this is #1 lap time. So if you are in a helicopter race, it's actually the best vehicle to use. For a lap time situation, if there's like a lot of turns and corners in helicopter race, it's basically the best one to use for that kind of helicopter race with a lot of turns and corners. And yes, that's right. I did find the gun van on take 1, and obviously it's in the same spot since I'm doing it early enough for the take 2. Right over here. We're over here. So I'll actually be going over gun van before I go over like the time trials and a green race, basically.
No one followed you, right? That's, black market only.
Okay, so this one you're only going to see on the gun van if you're on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, PC Enhanced.
That kind of rifle?
It's not a permanent edition anymore either, of course, being into the next DLC. And this DLC, unfortunately, there's no weapon to be released at all for this DLC, unfortunately. I don't know if it had anything to do with, like, they were planning for this to be the final update before they delayed GTA 6 or something, therefore some contents like a garage and stuff are kind of missing, or if they're just doing all this on purpose for trying to get people buy plus for the 100-car garage, or like just not wanting to have any interest in doing a weapon for this update for any reason, or what. Still. Latest weapon not released into the game, but it's only on the PlayStation 5. It is, yes, only on the PlayStation 5. Xbox Series X, not just PC Enhanced. Has a scope. Everything actually comes with the weapon. There's no like attachments for it. So it comes with the scope, the unique blue flashlight. That's pretty much just a cosmetic thing, and it comes with the extended clip, even if it doesn't mention it on the weapon wheel. It has the extended clip already, since it's kind of a pseudo Mark II military rifle. It's obviously not a Mark II weapon since you get it at the gun van. It's not at all in the like Mark II weapon inventory. When you go over to like a Mark II weapon workshop, it's not there at all. So it's kind of a pseudo Mark II weapon in a sense, like the military rifle. Yes, the military rifle. Coming with this unique gold and like bluish tin. But yeah, I don't know if the scope's all that unique. It might just be a pretty normal scope. Again, the flashlight's pretty unique, being a blue flashlight compared to like every other weapon that was like a traditional flashlight instead. It also does have tracer rounds, and the cool thing about this one, the cool thing about this one is it does have 9999 ammo, whereas any other traditional like tracer round weapon that's for Mark II weapon workshop, those only go up to like 300 rounds, I think, or so, up to. So that's a significant boost compared to the other tracer rounds. Also, I kind of failed to mention actually in the last stream, apparently traditional tracer round weapons for the Mark II ones only shoot a tracer every 3 shots, basically, so you have to shoot like a couple times, and then third shot actually apparently is a tracer shot, basically. From what I've heard, anyways. This one is a tracer every single shot you fire, so every shot you fire is a tracer on this weapon, which is pretty good, particularly other tracer weapons.
Yeah, now that rifle's a modern classic.
So that'll help you lead your shots, so tracers, of course, probably help you lead your shots, especially at nighttime, which is pretty good. However, though, the downside to this, there is one downside to this, is it does not have a suppressor, which the regular yes, the regular military rifle does have a suppressor option to. This does not have a suppressor, unfortunately. So
you can trust that, right?
You cannot really use this for stealth missions, sadly. Fuck, I certainly broke my fuck. Yes, just do not use it for stealth missions. It does not have a suppressor for sure.
That's new stock. Fresh out of the box.
Alright, on to the Gusenberg sweeper. I'll mention why, of course, later, of course. I believe this counts as an LMG for like a light machine gun. And not really an SMG, I think it's more of an LMG for a light machine gun. So that's just stuff similar to stuff like the MG, the combat MG, maybe even the combat PDW counts as LMG, not SMG. I'm not too sure on that one though.
You're in the right place.
Fuck ass hernia, come on. I'm not too sure on that one though. For the combat PDW though, for the combat PDW though, I'm not sure if that counts as like SMG or LMG per se. Yes. This was the Valentine's Day Massacre, like, weapon that they added, like, February 2014, basically.
Gotta get that pop,
So it was one of the first couple DLC weapons I think they ever released in the game. So it is available in the single player, so you can try it out there, of course, before you buy one for the online if you wanted to. I also don't think it's, like, limited time anymore, ever since, like, at least 2016 or something. They don't even have it as, like, limited time anymore. I think you can always buy one at, like, Ammunition or something. Something.
I'll not be beaten on automatic weapons. That's what you want. You're in the right place.
But Gusenberg Sweeper actually have in the gun locker usually. Now the reason I have it in the gun locker is because there's ammo glitches in the game that tend to remove your ammo, so I have one in the gun locker for my Gusenberg Sweeper, so I don't actually usually have it out. So my LMGs get ammo basically every time I go into a new lobby. Every time I go into a new lobby, my LMGs basically get maximum 9999 ammo every single lobby I go into, or something. Basically, again, my reason for doing it is for the ammo glitches, so they don't happen anymore. I wouldn't even advocate for it at all if it weren't for that happening. But since there's ammo glitches that remove your ammo, and that would make you pay hundreds of $1,000s in ammo, normally, of course, again and again, I just do that obviously to alleviate it, basically. And then, vintage pistol, apparently.
That's weighted real nice.
Yes, basically just a beautiful looking pistol right there. Beautiful looking pistol without the need for some kind of like crazy livery on it. And yeah, also Gusenberg Sweeper's not suppressed at all, apparently. Apparently it just has an extend clip, it seems. Yeah, vintage pistol has extend clip and a suppressor, so you can at least use in stealth combat at least. It's basically just a beautiful looking pistol. I don't know if I would say it's the one you should put in like the gun locker per se. I don't think so per se. There might be other ones more canvassy to that, basically like a combat pistol or something. Like second pistol in the game or something. But still.
Gotta have a handgun you can trust, right?
The vintage pistol could be one of the worst pistols. I'm not 100%. It's mostly for the beauty, like the looks and stuff, like I said. It's probably not one you're likely to use, so it might just sit in your weapon wheel if you don't put in like a gun van, or if you don't put in the gun locker, of course. I mean. And then for the melee weapon this time around, you have the switchblade.
Real easy to clean.
Switchblade is pretty unique with having two different liveries to it. Back when it first released, like the Executive Ever Criminals DLC, or if it wasn't that one, it was probably Finance Felony if it wasn't Executive Ever Criminals. But it goes VIP Bodyguard, not CO or something. I assume it did release Executive Ever Criminals, of course. So it's one of the most beautiful looking melee weapons. It also has a really sick animation whenever you like bring it in and out, basically with like L1, like LB, whatever on PC. It does like a really sick animation as well. I don't think you can use it for biker melee. I also don't think you can actually use this one underwater, I believe. Unlike something like a knife, I don't think you can use it underwater. But the most interesting thing about it has to be the 2 extra liveries it has access to, definitely.
In a good way. That was only released a little while ago.
And then, yes.
Only sold by yours truly.
Your 30% off general discount for the gun van goes over to the Tackle SMG, so no matter what platform you're on, you do have to Tackle SMG for a discount. And you also don't have to pay $8 a month for Plus to even get the discount in the case of the other one. And it's worth noting, actually, the Strickler, Tackle SMG, and the Railgun are all free gun van exclusives, so you will not be able to buy those at the... You cannot buy those at the ammunition or the agency or any other alternate means of buying weapons, basically. So you have to buy these top 3 at the gun van in particular. They are gun van exclusives for those couple newer ones. Basically. But yes, Tackle SMG.
Will not be beaten on automatic weapons. That's what you want. You're in the right place. That's the very latest.
Yes. Has 60 rounds, and it's pretty much the best drive-by weapon in the game, as long as you're not in like a special vehicle seat that allows you to use like extra drive-by weapons, like your assault rifles, sniper rifles, RPGs. You can do that, for example, in like I believe the Moonbeam side seats, the Phantom Wedge in the back, helicopters. Maybe there's other options, of course, like that as well, but they don't come up on top of my head, basically. But yeah, helicopter side seats allow you to do that as well, basically. The only vehicle seat that doesn't allow you to use like the super crazy special weapons is basically the best drive-by weapon to use ever since released 2 years ago. Cinders Mercenaries DLC in summer 2023. Basically dethroned the AP pistol with its basically dethroned the AP pistol with its once impressive 36 rounds. This has a plus 24. As my DualSense wireless controller battery level runs low apparently, but yes. Again, this has 60 rounds, which beats the previous highest of like 36 of the AP pistol for the traditional older best drive-by weapon as a couple years before, and not like beforehand, basically. But yeah, from AP pistol 36, this is 60, that's a plus 24, which is very massive.
Won't find that in ammunition.
But again, makes it the best drop-by weapon of the game if you're not in like a side, if you're not in the side seats of like the Moonbeam, like the back of Phantom Wedge, like side seats of helicopters, there's possibly other options as well for the better drop-by weapons, of course.
That's black market only. That one's brand new.
And then the Railgun. This one is 40% off for Plus members only, so you have to be in the Plus subscription to get access to the discount for the 40% off. Basically. There's one thing I like to do to show off how good that is, basically. Yeah, I'll go over that a bit later still. We had a railgun. I'll fire like 3 shots of this, basically. I had a lot of cats actually showing up in the last stream actually around, which is pretty fun, very fun. Not this time though, it seems. Unless I'm not just seeing them this time or something. My eyes been kind of shit right now. It seems. So I only got up like an hour ago or something, unless I get the most sleep or something, say. Because of a streaming issue or something. But yeah, health ammo. So for 3 rounds, particular, even 4, I believe, would be $2,100, at least for a year. There might be a convenience fee, I get it, but still proves my point what I'm about to show off. So you could do an ammo box either for Merryweather or also for your CO menu, at least for sure I know is a fact, basically. And at least for the secure Cercio, it's $1,000. But yeah, for $1,000, you can literally zero out with the railgun. You can have no ammo at all for the railgun, one bullet even for the railgun. It doesn't matter, the ammo box will completely refill your railgun as long as you have it out actively when you collect it. I think that's important, you have to actually have it out when you collect it. Oops. Yes. It will go from 0 to 20 even for just $1,000, which makes it the cheapest heavy weapon to replenish ammo for easily, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. So you can replenish ammo with that, which is pretty nice, of course. Very cheap, very cheap. Makes it very worth buying the railgun, no doubt.
Hey there. Pleasure doing business with you.
Easily makes it like one of the best heavy weapons in the game if it's mastered, of course. Like, yes, it's nerfed in single player, but being able to buy the ammo for super cheap kind of makes up for it, basically.
Only sold by yours truly.
And then onto throwables, you have the Bikers DLC, Pipe Bomb that returns from Grand Theft Auto 4, Lost and Damned DLC for that Bikers DLC, and the GTA 4 episodes of Liberty City. But yeah, pretty cool returning one, I guess, basically. To me, it's kind of a cross of grenade and stick bomb, since I don't really know how to explain it too well. I will say it's kind of like a cross of grenade and stick bomb, I feel.
Goes off guaranteed every time.
One thing is it doesn't blow up in your hand if it gets shot like a sticky bomb, I believe, so that's kind of good. Makes it probably one of the better options to use as like a drive-by throwable, so it is a strong option, strong contender to use as like a drive-by throwable. Since a sticky bomb will blow up in your hand, it gets, if a sticky bomb gets shot in your hand by like AI or something, it'll just blow up your vehicle or something. Yes, tear gas. Tear gas. Yeah, tear gas is good for room clearing, of course.
Primers included.
And then sticky bombs. Not only can you obviously blow them up wherever, whenever you want, as long as somebody else doesn't blow it up for you or something. With like your gun or something. It is also a utility weapon in the form of being able to do the armored truck robbery, like free mode event kind of thing. That's for sure. So it is useful for a certain free mode event that happens in the game as well.
Every time.
And then obviously you have armor as well, of course, like usual.
I should probably get out of here soon too.
Alright, so over to the casino. Before that though, obviously we're going in the casino. I don't know how I even did that. I kind of forgot that was even there. A billboard, but whatever. Before I even get in the casino, I'm going to be going over like the time trials, preliminaries, all that kind of stuff, basically. Before that though, ID business, the document for she apparently. Simeon for the vehicle list, whatever. Don't care about those right now. Yes. Oh, it's source board, at least for today, Tuesday, apparently, is Cowdy, Pug, and Seagull. All of those are pretty obvious where you're probably going to find them, so... Yes. Fuck ass Arnio, come on, fuck. Saudi's found pretty easily in the desert areas, of course. Pugs, I'm sure you could find pretty easily in the city, of course, and then seagulls, obviously are near water and stuff, of course. Yes. The regular time trial apparently is coast to coast. Which again, I kind of mentioned earlier, this one's actually near the highway and stuff. So. Yes. It's near the highway, so top speed could actually be a pretty good option on this compared to most, where a lap time might be the better option for a lap time, of course, like usual, probably. Now, yes. I advise using the best possible motorcycles, especially, and if not, then supercars or sports cars might do fine as well if you're careful with them, of course. As I will get into later, basically those are the couple classes you want to focus on, especially motorcycles for like traditional time trial. And again, this will be the 100k time trial. It's probably just this, that's 100k, and then the RCB and Dado Junk Energy HSW probably just be just standard amounts. I'm guessing. I assume it's this for every single day of the event as well, so I think for every day you can get 100k, like I was saying basically earlier, since it was on the main menu for the what's new section after the basic GT Online, basically. Nowadays. And then RCB and Dado time trial for day Tuesday this time around is construction site 2. Probably one of the usual 2 I've been going over lately, doing Tuesday streams lately. But obviously, if you played the very first construction site time trial for RCB and Dado time trial, it's probably going to be pretty similar to that, kind of. But yeah, traditionally, yeah, as the name suggests, you're going to use the one vehicle RCB and Dado. You can only use one vehicle, as the name suggests, of yes to RCB and Dado. So there's no vehicle advice to provide, so really it's all about doing the turns and corners correctly, I would say, for RCB and Dado time trial. Which I either suggest doing naturally with triangle, one on Xbox, 4K and PC for the respawn mechanic if you need to respawn, of course, for doing turns and corners again. Or just watch a video guide and hope you learn from the video guide, or something you watch or something would be my other thing of advice, basically. I think that basically mentions all the advice I was going to mention on that one. It's just W time trial this time around. Again, did not get far enough in the stream for this, of course, and it shot itself randomly, basically. The SSS, the weekly HSW time trial this time around is the HSW Pacific Bluffs, the one that goes over to El Gordo Lighthouse, the house right before, like the house right before it, basically. Yeah, that one for shortcuts. Obviously, you have the huge first shortcut. You just go off-road instead of taking the main road. Of course, pretty obvious one there. You have like an area on the side here you can kind of go. That might be a little bit of a shortcut. To not have to go through like the toll gate or whatever. I would kind of debate if that's to be much of a shortcut or not. But still. That's hurting you. Come on. Stop. And then I think after that, next thing that could even slightly be considered a shortcut, and I'm not even sure if it would even be a shortcut again. You could kind of drop down like some grass areas around the casino, like the highway before whatever. There's like grass you probably just drop down from. Basically, that might be a shortcut. Not sure. Then from there, obviously, get to the highways and not a shortcut from there. Basically. Once yes, you get to the like cheapest weed farm in the game. Basically, I do like to do the right turn. Basically, and then I do that bunch of road there to get to the destination from there. Going off the map, you might even be able to go over to this. Basically, not sure though. How like feasible that is, but it's not. Fuck, I started. Yeah, come on, stop. Yes, I'm not. Yes, indeed. I'm not really sure how feasible that is, though. There's pretty much any shortcuts to do for it, I would say, from my experience, anyways. But yes. So for vehicle advice, as you may notice, actually there's no part-time, and that's because you have to be in an HSW vehicle you can like get a part-time. So you could theoretically use any of the 27 HSW. I think 26 really, because of the Warp Nice Ignis. There's no way to use that one ever since it got blacklisted, ever since Criminal Enterprises DLC onwards. Whereas I think the ones with proximity mines might just be able to take those off and then maybe just use it without proximity mines for the time being. Now you're going to use it for HSW time trial, basically. But yes. So you can theoretically use any HSW vehicle you want to, But yeah, the latest ones that came out were the HSW Woodlander that I was using briefly to get to the Higgins Salvatores, of course. It's like third place, I'll have time like second place top speed or something for the SCV HSW vehicles in particular, and in particular, of course. Fuck ass hernia, bro. Come on, stop.
What's up, buddy? How's the new purchase?
But yes. But the Woodlander, I think again is like third place a lot of times, second place top speed. If you're just purely talking about the HSW vehicles, not like the Castigator and like the HSW ones that can be slightly within like HSW performance wise for a lot of time or something. No, the Cascaders better than like at least a couple of them or something. I think for a lot of time might be. I think Cascader is better than the Woodlander for a lot of time, but yeah, obviously you can't use that for HSW town trial. See, I think it is like third place off time, like second place top speed behind like the Izzy Rally or something. And then Tampa GT is the worst lap time HSW vehicle period. I think of all 27 as far as I've heard. Ever since it released. And is obviously the worst one for the muscle car class, at least for a lap time. HSW in particular, not counting non-HSW, of course, which obviously it's not the worst of the whole class or anything. And top speed, it is the best for muscle car class for Tampa GT for the top speed there. Overall, it's apparently the third best top speed overall, at least in terms of the muscle car class in particular. Might even be the third best top speed overall. But I think our helicopters are better, so I think it's just for top speed overall for HSW in particular. Behind just the Banshee GTS and then the Italia GTS Stinger TT, I believe, for top speed, just behind those two sports cars, I believe, for top speed, actually, for the HSW subclass. But yes. Now, yeah, there's Class C, Class B, Class A. Class C is like compacts, coupes. Ironically, two classes starting with C. You have the Bracer RA HSW for your one compact HSW, and then you have the Sentinel X. Sorry. Since my controller died, I wait a bit there, but still. Hello. Yes. Sorry about that. My controller died. Yes. Anyways, the two classes for Class C, compacts, coupes, ironically two classes starting with C. You have your one compact, of course, the Bracer RA HSW, and then you have the Sentinel XS HSW. Yes, you do have the Sentinel XS HSW. And then the other one is the Euros X32 HSW for the coupe HSWs, of course. And then for Class B, Class A, there's like 13 and 11 for those, basically, for vehicles. I mean, basically, or 10, I guess, for Class A, excluding the weaponized ignitions, whatever. But yeah, Class B is muscle car, SUV, sports classics, and then I believe off-road, of course, as well. That was added later on in Dangerous Mercenaries onwards for an HSW class. And not the launch of the 9th gen version like the rest of them were close to launch even of the newest versions of the game, or console ones anyways. And then Class A, which again is classes I would probably recommend for the regular time trials, which is kind of what I would say, we'll go into that later, is the sports, supercars, and then motorcycles. That's why I would recommend those classes for regular time trials. If they're going to be the best HSW classes, I think this as well would be the best classes for regular time trials as well, of course. Then on to Junk Energy time trial for Day Tuesday, when the usual couple have been going over it lately, of course, been Quartz Center, doing Tuesday streams lately. But honestly, for these, I feel the later sets tend to be the easier ones, like the HSW Junk Energy, so as long as you do not fall off your bicycle, go where you need to go, maximize on the curves boost again and again. Don't fall off the bike, go where you need to go, maximize on the curves boost, and you can only use the newer ones that were released in 2023 for Dangerous Mercenaries. You can't use the day one bicycles like the BMX or anything. You have to use the inductor bikes for regular inductor or the provided like Junk Energy inductor, whatever. You will always have access to that curves boost feature, basically, for that reason. At least at some point, basically. But again, don't fall off the bike, go where you need to go, maximize on curves boost. You have no problem completing it for the most part, and if not, then I would suggest looking up some kind of video guide, and if not, then I would suggest looking up some kind of video guide, basically. So very similar to RC Bandito, where it's just a skill of using the vehicle, of course. Since zones are like just 1 to 2 vehicles, basically. And then onto the premium race, basically it is for the off-road class. Yes. So you have your 2 HSW vehicles. One is basically for lap time, one is basically for top speed. In the case of the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, PC, and Enhanced, where you have the 2 HSW ones. First one, the HSW Monstrosity, was the lap time option. Second one, the Fireball ASP, is the top speed option. So. Fuck, that's hurting you, bro. Come on. Stop. But yes. Monstrosity HSW. Again, number 1 lap time. Again. Monstrosity HSW. Yes. Tongue twist, yes, bro. Come on. Fuck. Yes. Again, Monstrosities are lap time option number 1, lap time number 2, top speed. Fireball ASPs are top speed options, that's number 2. It is the number 2 for lap time, and then the number 1 for top speed for the HSW options, of course. And in general, kinda for number 2 on the lap time, number 1 top speed in the case of Fireball ASP, of course. And then you have the Draugr, of course, I mentioned already, is your number 1 lap time when going over to 40% off discount. Ironically, I think the other 2 that were A tier were 2 discounts for last event, and that's the Vagrant, whatever. And then you have the Terminus, and then you have the Terminus, basically. That's broken, come on. Yes, Terminus is the third A tier for the off-road class, basically. So that's basically your first, second, third place lap time options if you are on the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One PC Legacy, where you do not have access to the 2 HSW vehicles, of course. So that's every vehicle you should know about for the premium race, basically. If you want to look into top speed particular options, like asides for HSW for the legacy platforms, refer to roughly 1322 in his spreadsheet, like I mentioned earlier on in this stream, of course. And then, what is lap time, what is top speed, for those wondering? Lap time is turns and corners in like the city for the most part. But yeah, most races do have some kind of like lap time. Most races, yes. Ooh, tongue twister, come on. Most races, yes, do have some kind of lap time, basically. Top speed is a lot more niche, actually, though, where it's like your highways, airport runways, and your airstrips as well, such as the newer one from like a couple updates ago, the Tonga Hills one, and then your other 2 more common airstrips, of course, the Grand Snore Desert, and then the Grapeseed, basically. And yeah, I believe premium races, I do, yes, believe premium races are only traditional races and not stunt races, I'm pretty sure, so we'll always have a city course for those, I believe. Fuck, it's hurting me, bro. Stop, damn it. But yes. So, how do you know what the race course is going to be if I'm not going over the actual race course? You can press square for start job, which is X on Xbox, whatever key on PC. that'll let you start it, or you can also go to like the physical, or yes, you can also go to the physical corona on the map of like the pink corona. You'll actually see on the map if you're actually in the physical location, of course. If you are, of course, in that physical location, that's another way to do it at least. And then when you're into the actual lobby screen, you can do the same button for Square X on Xbox for key and PC, and I believe it lets you see the map of the race, I believe. I believe doing the same button on the lobby screen also lets you see the lobby screen as well, basically. Like, on the lobby screen, I mean, doing the same button, yes, lets you see the map of the race, so you can analyze for laptop top speed, so you can analyze for turns, corners, lap time, pure straights, top speed. And if for some reason you forget to do it there, you can also do it, I believe, when you choose a vehicle as well. I assume they let you do it when you choose a vehicle, of course, so you can actually have an idea of what vehicle you're choosing. Or I mean, you might get an idea of how a vehicle performs, of course, if you get to see the map, of course, when you choose a vehicle, which I assume is why I let you do it when you choose a vehicle as well, of course. Alright, I'm finally done talking about that. My hernia was kind of getting a bitch as I was doing that, of course.
What? Who said that? A blob? A recession is
Alright, so in Casino, I cannot do a wheel spin though, because again, this is take two of the stream, of course.
Throwing a party at your penthouse? Speak with guest services and the evidence from last night's debauchery will be cleaned right away.
God damn, you fuck ass hernia though. Come on. Yes, I cannot do that again because my first take of the stream ended randomly, like I said, basically when I was going over first vehicle discount, when I was on the remaining vehicle discounts, it decided to end randomly for my stream, unfortunately. Okay. Cocaine, apparently. Mint, counterfeit cash. Weed, it seems. Don't care. Yes. Legendary Motorsport, this one is for the Grotti Furia, by the way, it is. Yes, fuck, that's hernia though, come on, fuck. Grotti Furia is the vehicle here, basically, which was added in the Dime Casino Resort DLC. Or no, the heist one, right. Sorry, I messed up because my stupid fucking hernia. I meant to say the heist one, but of course I messed up, of course. There's that Zaruso discount from earlier, which does apparently have a lock-on jammer. If I didn't say that, by the way, it has a lock-on jammer. So if you have an agency, or if you do have Plus, you can also use the Vonwood Club Garage as well. Then you can actually use the... then you can also use one of its two properties to add the lock-on jammer, of course, for the, like, $400,000 or whatever. And yes, that's a reminder, Police Bike has limited time clothing for however long it goes for. I don't think they ever gave an end date on that, I don't think. So I don't know if it's for, like, the whole initial DLC it's out for, whatever. Still. Yes, yes, yes. Back on top though with the Grotti period though. No. This one is at a buy it now price of $2,740,000 with a trade price of $2,055,000. You save like $685,000 with that trade price. It looks like. And yeah, being tied to Damasceno Heist, the trade price, you have to select it as a getaway vehicle. You have to. Yes. Alright. Tongue twist, yes, bro. Come on. You have to. Yeah, you have to select it as a getaway vehicle for the Damasceno Heist. You don't even have to use it as a getaway vehicle in actual heist, thankfully, since it's better to use like a police vehicle and escape through that or something. Something. But yes, as it says here, you just have it selected as a getaway vehicle for Damasceno Heist, basically. That's all you have to do, steal a getaway vehicle and complete said heist that you steal as a getaway vehicle for. You don't even have to touch it at all. You don't have to touch it at all aside for the prep mission. You don't even have to touch it at all for the finale, basically. That's how you get $685 off. Or not dollars, but $685,000 off. I mean, of course, it's broke being a pain in the ass. Hurting and everything being a pain in the ass right now. Sorry. But yeah, this one is apparently for the supercar class in the top of the E tier, apparently. The same tier that the Sirius is in, but it's at the top of the tier, so it's obviously better for lap time. Apparently. And that gives it 27th place for lap time. However, it is 48th place for top speed, so it is much worse on top speed compared to that Russo. So it is only in like 44 for top speed at like best, which is below average regardless of platform there. Lap time is above average for the class though, but it's only up to like the 20s, like 23rd at best. With the 4 HSWs ahead of it for lap time. It's only 23rd at best. Best at best. So there's better supercars to go for. I'd really just do this one for customization, personal preference kind of reasons. Really. And gang, credit goes to Profit 152. Vehicle spreadsheet, of course, for any vehicle performance I go over, even if I don't mention it later on, but I have mentioned it at least a couple times now. No. So if I don't mention it again, just keep that in mind, basically. So maybe fine, hopefully, after hitting the billboard earlier, hopefully. At least for now, it's not like smoking or anything. So cool. I wasn't supposed to even have to do an exports vehicle, but fine, I guess, since Take Two, the fucking stream had to happen, since it ended randomly when I was going over, like, the Seabreeze discount. Shortly after that, I decided to quit out on me, basically from the stream. I had, like, 8 more vehicle discounts covered. That was too much information that was missing from the stream, so I had to do a Take Two, basically. Like, it's the regular and Ponce Rutner, just one I could have literally just stolen off the street, apparently. It's a day 1 vehicle, so this one you can actually steal off the street if you get it. And it has the better Rutner 2000, of course, the weaponized one, of course. There was a time where it might have been like top 10 for like top speed and stuff around this time. I kind of forget it. Still. Those days are long gone with all the crazy muscle cars nowadays in the game, basically. Surely. So it's an interesting vehicle, I guess, for a day one vehicle, anyways. I feel. But obviously, I prefer the Ruiner 2000, definitely myself. Which obviously, I don't think is an option for the like the export stuff, of course. Since obviously they're just focused on delivering vehicles, not like weaponized kind of stuff or anything like super crazy weaponized, anyways. So obviously I know you have stuff like the Silvestro with the Prometh machine guns you can actually deliver. Albeit that certain particular ones don't have those on them, I'm pretty sure, but still. They have them as options as an upgrade, I mean, of course. $20,000, okay, cool. But yeah, last take I was able to pick up $240,000 for my agency. Yeah, with that in this, $12,096,820. It looks like. Yes. Again, using the Kanata, for sure. I used Valkyrie in the last stream, basically. So obviously this was the next one down the list, basically. Alright, so now this is definitely repaired for sure, since I've respawned it because of the export vehicle, of course. But yes, I was going to the Ellis car meet, by the way, After Ellis car meet, I'll probably go for the rest of the plus stuff, by the way. I think I can get the rest of that out the way, basically. But yes. So I know for sure already, of course, I'll read the ones on the test track or vault vehicles again, because take one to stream, take one to stream, of course. And that's the, what's it called again? Debauche, or Exemplar, Vapid Click, and then the Invetero Click, whatever. Probably the most interesting one of the batch, probably in some sense, has to go to the Debauche Exemplar, being in the very niche coupe class. I know coupe has had more and more vehicles recently, but yeah, coupe is still a very small niche class, I would say, compared to a bunch of other classes in the game. So you can actually maybe still get some ideal performance out of this one, for all I know. And yeah, 6-digit price, so even though it's a day one vehicle, it's too hot to modify if you steal off the street, so you have to buy off the dealership, I believe, just to make it clear. You can obviously try it out in story mode first as well, by the way, before you purchase it for online, of course. Vapid Click. This one, it was the Festive Prize 2018 free vehicle. Oh, that reminds me, there's still plus stuff I have to go over. I just forgot, of course, because of shit going on, basically, with irony and stuff. I'll just go over that along with the rest of it, of course, later, like I said, after this, though. But, fuck, yeah, fuck ass hernia, bro. Come on. Fuck. God. Yes. Vapid Click was the best prize 2018 free vehicle, so anything that's not free is kind of a ripoff. Also, it used to perform when it first came out really damn good. Of course, with newer muscle cars, I'm sure it fell off a top 10 altogether, though. I'm guessing. Since there was more muscle cars, of course, within like the last several years, like several years after, of course. So I'm sure it fell off the top 10 like altogether. I'm guessing. But it's the only one that's online exclusive of these three. It is, yes, the only one that's online exclusive of these three, for sure. And then, very quick, it's in the overpacked sports class of like 117 vehicles nowadays in the game. So, obviously, the most interesting thing about it is it's pretty iconic from like 3D Universe, or if it's not from 3D Universe, it's from like Grand Theft Auto 4 episodes of Liberty City, so it's obviously pretty iconic from those games. Those games were the Coquette branch of vehicles, basically. And then going into the remove vehicles dates section of the spreadsheet. But yes. So according to the removed vehicles dates section of that same spreadsheet I was mentioning earlier, basically, the Exemplar has been on dealerships 7 times total, apparently, as of this event. So it's only featured on dealerships 7 times as of the last 2-ish years, which isn't terrible. I'm not suggesting that, but but obviously there's vehicles that's featured more, basically. Vapid Click. And yeah, last 2 years as a San Andreas Mercenaries DLC vaulted like hundreds of vehicles initially from the vehicle websites. Agent Sabotage and this latest Money Fronts DLC has returned some of them. There has been other occasions of ones returning as well for other purposes, besides for just having lock-on jammers added onto them, basically, but they're kind of few and far between compared to the lock-on jammer support, adding a bunch back, basically. But yeah, San Andreas Mercenaries 2+ years ago at this point. Been available 7 times on dealership, basically. Click, on the other hand, same with the Coquette, actually, Coquette as well. Whatever. Both of these have apparently appeared 9 times. 9. I didn't mean to, but yeah, both appeared 9 times, of course, on the dealership since being bolted, apparently. So almost a double digit times, basically now. These days, I've seen some of these vehicles have some of the most availability of any vehicles in the game, I'm guessing for the vaulted vehicles, of course, at this point. And yeah, I know none of these are on discount, no dealership vehicles are on discount this event, I know that. Again, we're gonna take one on the stream, basically. And then prize ride for the event basically here is the Pegassi Infernus Classic, which it looks like, which looks wise, I think basically is the Grand Theft Auto Vice City Infernus, which is also very cool and iconic and stuff. Prize ride challenge is still around top 3 days in a row. Yes. So today for Tuesday is actually kind of last day to go for this. I actually didn't actually mention that last stream, but yeah, this is actually kind of last day for this. Tuesday, Wednesday, probably even do partial. You can actually probably get away with it on very early Thursday, very early Thursday as well. At least Pacific Standard Time it works that way. I'm pretty sure. And as far as I know, for time zones, only Hawaiian time, like whatever for Hawaii is like an hour before. Everything else is like after, so I think it only gets better, of course, for other time zones from there. So I think every time zone you should be able to even do a little bit of Thursday at least, or even more so depending on where you live. Guessing. But yeah, definitely should have been shooting it no later than definitely should have been shooting for it no later than today for those who care. Yeah, so watching motorsports. Believe. Yes. Fuck it, sorry. Come on. Yes. I believe it's part of the Cunning Stunt Special Vehicle Circuit update. If not, then it's part of the gun running DLC, if I remember right. I'm going over it earlier, plus, just from my general knowledge, that's actually what I predicted before, even doing Take 1 even as well. Like, as I was doing this part of the stream as well. Yes, by Guinness. Oh, or hold on. I actually have stuff to go over. Again, I'm all over the place because it's fuck SRE. I'm sorry. But yeah, for races, in here, the only things I know for sure count are street races, pursuit races. Or street races, I guess. Guess going alphabetical in this case. Of course. I usually mention street pursuit races. Why not? From like best one to worst one, basically. But yeah, you need at least 4 players, so that's at best like a 75% chance. That is yes, at best 75% chance. So it's not guaranteed through the pursuit race method, but it's pretty easy if you do it that way, as long as you're not the worst racer of like 4 people, basically. Then street races are obviously 2 players, so those are a lot more doable for top 3. Those are basically guaranteed entries, how it works, by the way. Those are basically guaranteed entries, by the way, for how it works, essentially, from my experience, of course. Yes, that's fuck. I certainly come on. Fuck. Yeah, from my experience, it basically works that way, though. It's a guaranteed entry as long as it's like top 2, even on like a street race, even. You can also, by the way, of course, get away with top 3 as well, or with 3 players. Three players. Of course. But yeah, you can do 2 or 3 players, and it's basically guaranteed entry. Ones I don't think do count, at least solo, they don't count. I assume they probably don't count with other players as well. I'm guessing. Just since they released a lot later on compared to the other types of like interesting race types, of course. Yes. Yeah. drag race and drift races, basically, they're soloable, but they're not doable solo, I know for sure. With other players, I'm willing to bet you don't get entries for prize rides for those. Sadly. And yes. I think that because it came out a couple years later, 2023 compared to 2021 for the street races, if you want to go alphabetical, like in this menu, of course. So yeah, since they released it later on, I assume they don't count, sadly, regardless though. It's a pretty easy challenge to do with street races with 2 or 3 player ones, of course. 2 or 3 player ones, of course, do work pretty good. For the challenge, of course. Alright, so now over to the vehicle finally, as I mean to be, of course. Again, like I predicted, it was part of I predicted it even on take 1, it was the Cunning Stunt Special Vehicle Circuit. And if not, my second guess was gun running, of course. Where the update was released in, basically. Now I actually mean to be on it, yes, 915,000. It is 915,000. I don't believe there's a trade price on this at all. I don't think it's usable in I don't really think it's part of Casino Heist. I know Casino Heist featured older vehicles, but I don't think it's part of Casino Heist for like a getaway vehicle or anything. So I think it's 915,000 no matter what on its basic general price without a discount, of course. Which is a 6-digit price, which is not bad. If you're grinding a game efficiently enough, getting like $1 million an hour is not a hard thing to do. It's not the most worth shooting for challenges because the value is not that bad, but challenge is also pretty easy to do, so you might as well get it for free, of course, rather than spending 915,000 anyways. And again, for fuck's sakes, it looks like the Vice City Inferno, basically. What's not to love about it, basically. Yeah, this is sadly, as of this update now, down to like a C tier. Might have been top C tier, but it's sitting like 2nd spot for C tier, I believe, for the Sports Classics class. One I went over earlier when I was doing take 1, now I'm going to do take 2, of course, because stream ended randomly, of course. One going over to Seabreeze discount, like a little after, of course. Yes. It is in fact in the C tier for the Sports Classics class, which sadly kind of gives it 12th place. Last time it was 16th place top speed. Yeah, 12 and 16 for last time top speed. Out of 50, that's actually pretty decent for out of 50 though. So no matter what, it is above average at least for both metrics. So that's obviously good. On the plus side, since there's 2 HSW Sports Classics, it does get 10th place without HSW into account if you're on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC Legacy. Or if HSW is disabled in like a race or something like that, it's also like top 10 basically. Or the lap time at least. So because of that, it can actually be somewhat like alright for performance, definitely. So I think I would kind of consider getting this one. I would kind of consider getting this one, but just notice better Sports Classics in the game, basically. Yeah, very good vehicle. Very good vehicle. And then the HSW Premium Test Ride, whatever, if you're on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X/S, PC Enhanced, is the Coil Cyclone 2, which is the electric supercar. Only electric supercar with HSWs, it's obviously very unique and stuff, so obviously I would definitely highly suggest picking that up if you have the money for it, of course. And yes. Any HSW vehicle is on the vehicle website, by the way. There is a mistake though with the Sterling GT, since it was vaulted between Criminal Enterprise DLC up until Agent Sabotage, where it got brought back with the missile lock-on jammer. That one does say it's not on the website, when it in fact is back on the website ever since the Agent Sabotage DLC. But yeah, every single one is available for purchase, still on the vehicle website. It's not vaulted at all, by the way. Alright, so on to the Plus subscription remaining stuff. Again, I'm sorry I forgot to mention the Plus, like, club garage, like, car club, I mean, for the vehicle stuff there. I meant to do that earlier, but might as well do it. Might as well, of course, still, whatever. Better late than never, after all. We had a scramjet for Warsaw Cash and Carry. It's a Warsaw Cash and Carry vehicle, so it does have access to weaponry. It's one of those when it's on Warsaw that, yes, it does have weaponry, and it's not just stock, since there are stock vehicles, of course, they're without weapons at all. It's on Warsaw as well. We have a rocket boost and a jump boost. It is a rocket and a jump boost vehicle at the exact same time, which is pretty cool. It's the only case where that's the case, I believe. Only vehicle in the game that has both rocket and jump boost at the same time. Very huge. It also does have front-mounted machine guns, which normally isn't the biggest deal, but you could, if you're really crazy good at the vehicle, you could probably cockpit snipe or something with it if you are that good. I'm willing to bet. willing to bet that's been done before. They're not explosive guns, of course, like the Hydra. Just keep in mind, they're just basic front-mounted machine guns. But you could probably cockpit snipe with it if you're that good with it or something. But yeah, that's a huge skill gap basically, so most likely you probably won't be. But that is a possibility, most likely, at least. And then yes. It also has homing missiles as well. It has 30 of the best tracking homing missiles in the game. It has the same tracking as the Deluxo or Energy Valves and other vehicles are like the best tracking homing missiles in the game, so almost anything it locks onto, it's pretty much guaranteed to hit, unless it's like an aircraft going in like circles or something. Or like maybe even Mark II oppressors can get away from those as well. Maybe. And then yes, very good point B transport. It's not as good as you might think it is, since obviously you have the jump boost and rocket boost to maximize on it, and then eventually it has to come back down to earth, of course, with the jump boost, of course. Unlike something like a Deluxo, the flying car that can just stay in the air, like hover. Oppressor Mark II, of course, can also hover. Even the Oppressor Mark I can actually glide, so even that's arguably better when we transport. And then obviously any helicopter or plane will just blow it right out the water when we transport, but it's pretty much the next best thing for point B transport. It's not just a land vehicle that doesn't have a jump boost at all, basically, and a rocket boost whatsoever. So obviously it's very good point B transport even still, even if it's not the best for point B transport. So it's pretty good, but it's not as good as people might think it is. I surely don't use it that often because it's not as good as helicopters, planes for point B transport. Definitely not. Speaking of the Oppressor Mark I, there is the Oppressor Mark I next up, apparently. Another Warstock vehicle. Motorcycle this time around. Weaponry, this one has the choice of a front-mounted machine guns or the missiles, but the missiles are standard tracking and it's limited to 20. And if I didn't mention, I think it's limited to 30 on the other vehicle from earlier, but I think I did mention it. So you have to choose between the machine guns or missiles on this particular vehicle. In this case, I would definitely suggest the missiles, so you can blow up vehicles, of course. Blowing up vehicles is pretty essential for grinding contents for certain missions and stuff to make them easier, of course. So, of course, I would definitely suggest doing that over the front-mounted machine guns. That, again, are not explosive, they're just basic. It's not the Mark II, whereas the explosive cannons, this one just has basic machine guns. Or the basic standard tracking homing missiles. Basically. But it's a very good transport vehicle as well if you're especially doing the MC sales for the motorcycle club, like document forgery, weed, counterfeit cash, meth, and cocaine sales. Since you have to be an MC present for those 5 businesses, it's very good to have one of these for point-A-point-B transport for sure. Just be careful with it if you use it, but obviously, if you're careful with it, it's actually better point-A-point-B transport, I would say, than Mark II oppressors, unless you're careful with it, of course. So it's a very good transport vehicle for the MC sales. That alone, I think, makes it very worth owning, even if you have no interest of using it for the weapons, or the rocket boost, or any of that. Alright, next up is the HSW vehicle with the weaponized Ignis. I mentioned earlier, of course. Cannot use it for HSW time trials, sadly, so this one you'll pretty much be using for racing. This one you'll probably be pretty much using it for racing, if anything, that's not weapon related. Which it is the #1 lap time for the Supercar HSW, so it is the best one, at least there, to make up for not being able to use it for HSW time trial since the Chrono Enterprise DLC. You could only use it for that brief period of time when the night-gen version launched before the Chrono Enterprise DLC happened. So thankfully I did do that, of course. When I could, for my HSW time trial usage and stuff. Now, it's, of course, another war stock vehicle because it's weaponized, of course. And you may think actually it like compares to weaponized Tampa. Since it has the name weaponized, then you might think it's comparable to weaponized Tampa, but sadly it's not. It only has one weapon. It only does, yes, have one weapon. Which is like a gun cannon thing on like the roof of the vehicle, kind of, or something. And the angles are also kind of pretty limited, unfortunately, I find. So yeah, sadly with the limited like angles and whatnot, I really don't think it's that great, sadly, on the gun. The gun's really not that good, I feel. It has limited angles, and therefore cannot shoot much of anywhere, I feel. It's very limited where you actually have the vehicle at. It's not the weaponized Tampa where it's like dual rotating machine gun, basically. With research that you can buy, basically. That lets you shoot like anywhere 360 degrees. It's not that good, unfortunately. But it's HSW and it's weaponized, and it does also have a countermeasure on it as well that you can buy at Howe's Special Works. Basically, you can also get the missile lock-on jammer for it. Basically. So it is interesting, of course, regardless. Fuck, I turned it out. Come on. Yes. Moving on to the Walton 035 stock, whatever. I would have mentioned it, of course, within like the last few streams, being a new vehicle. Not the greatest for off-road. Might be top 10 or something for like lifetime or something, I kind of forget. Like barely top 10 though. But there's much better off-road options, like I already listed earlier, of course, for the Prime Race. So it's probably just alright to decent at best, I would say, at the current moment. at the current moment, of course. Anyways. Since this game obviously has one more DLC in its lifespan, basically. This game does, yes, at least have one more DLC in its lifespan. I would say. And then onto the LSCM Cheetah Classic wide body, Grady LSCM Cheetah Classic wide body. And by the way, you can buy a lock-on jammer for this as well. All new vehicles pretty much feature a lock-on jammer since they sabotage DLC for new vehicles that can pretty much buy. This one's actually built in though for this one. This one when you buy it actually already comes with a lock-on jammer. Similar to the LSCM, Dinka LSCM, Jester RR, wide body, whatever. Yes, Grady LSCM, Cheetah Classic, wide body, whatever. Sports Classic is actually slightly better performing than the regular Cheetah Classic. That one fell off in like B tier or something, I think now, with this new one or something being released. But yeah, this one's A tier. Kind of where like the Cheetah Classic used to be. Basically. Yeah, this joins along the top of A tier with the Uranus low speed, basically. Or something. That might even be S tier, this might be like top of A tier now, basically. But yeah, with this money front DLC, it released this brand new, very good sports classics for performance. But yeah, customization is very lackluster on it though, just be aware. There's no cosmetic modifications aside for like one livery that you can basically apply to it. Basically. And you do have the option to remove the livery, but aside from that, there's no customization whatsoever, basically. So you want it for performance, not really for the customization. And you may even want it for personal preference reasons, who knows. Pretty good vehicle though, for a new one, of course. Oh yeah, it's also worth it is, yes, also worth noting, like the LSCM Dinka LSCM Chester R wide body. Oh, the Dinka, the Grady LSCM Cheetah Classic wide body. It is a tuner subclass vehicle. It is a tuner subclass vehicle, also the very first tuner subclass sports classics vehicle in the game as well, basically. Yes, very first sports classics tuner subclass vehicle in the game, which is pretty cool. And then the NS Hardy has a taxi livery on it, so if you have the taxi livery, you can use it for taxi work. I think it actually becomes the best option for taxi work if you actually do have the taxi livery on it as well. It's also a sedan tuner subclass vehicle as well, which is pretty cool. It is even the #1 top speed, I believe, as well for the tuner subclass. Even. Yeah, tuner subclass is actually the new #1 top speed since it released this update as well. Beating out the traditional. Beating out, yes, the traditional Dinka Chester RR as well there. Now, I don't think you can use it for robbery contracts, sadly. I don't think they actually use new ones for robbery contracts. You can only use the old ones, apparently, for the robbery contracts, not even the new ones, apparently, so that might still be the better option to use for, of course, robbery contracts, but Hardy, of course, if you're using it for, like, a pure top speed race or something for tuner subclass, and it's the one to use, basically. And then you have the 10F, basically. Has the 10F wide body. That wide body actually is really good customization. That Benny's upgrade 10F wide body actually has really good customization compared to the last 2 wide bodies where there's like no customization at all. So yeah, it's a really good Benny's vehicle, very good for the customization. It's a sports car, so it definitely has fallen off for the performance already at this point. Definitely. It's released like 3 years ago at this point. But yeah, 3 years ago it makes a huge difference for the sports class for performance, especially. And then I thought Virtue, that's where I remember to go over this actually with the click. Because the Virtue you can actually get for free if you actually complete the last dose missions. But yes. Last Dose is a set of 5 missions you can basically do from the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC. Completing those 5 missions basically gets you a free Ocelot Virtue, which is an electric Amani-Tech vehicle, just like the Buffalo EVX, but this one does not have HSW. This one actually does not have HSW whatsoever. This one's just the Amani-Tech features, which I think is pretty much all the same features of the other one, which is the armor plating. I don't think it has ballistic glass, no front mounted machine guns, 100%. Slick mines, it definitely does have, I believe. Has a choice of that missile lock-on chamber and the remote control unit, basically. Both, again, I think are pretty good options. Missile lock-on chamber, of course, is just generally really good to have. Combining that with the better explosive resistance of the Virtue being electric Amani-Tech, just like the Buffalo EVX, meaning the RPGs and the homing launchers do the same damage. So RPGs take just as long as homing launchers compared to other Amani-Tech, where the RPG will actually destroy it quicker, basically. Yeah, very good for surviving free mode, basically. And yes. I think when it initially came out, you couldn't throw like sticky bombs out of the windows, but now you can, I believe. But now. Fuck ass hernia, bro. Come on. Yes. I think when it first came out, you actually couldn't even throw sticky bombs off the windows, since I think they just reused like armor plating from like the acid lab initially, I believe, which that cannot do, since it has like stuff in the windows, basically blocking use of the sticky bombs. But the update after, I think they also allowed you to throw sticky bombs off the windows, so the Virtue is extremely good. Just doesn't have the HSW of the EVX, basically. But it is electric, and it's very instant acceleration. It might be even more instant acceleration than the EVX, except that does have HSW. So that might just be without HSW for the case of the EVX, where it would have actually better acceleration in that case. And like, whoops. Yeah, Virtue's a really good vehicle. You can even get it for free by doing all 5 last dose missions instead of having to buy outright. So it is a waste of money since you can just get it for free. I would just do the missions for it. Don't even buy out the like Plus Club Garage, or not the Club Garage, but the Car Club, I think. And then last but not least, I believe it's the DR1, which is an open wheeler. I forget if it's the like best open wheeler. I think it's either this or the BR8 or whatever. RA8, PR4 I don't think are as good, but the DR1 might be one of the better ones, if not even the best one. I'd have a look at Roughly 1322's YouTube channel or a spreadsheet or something to have a look. But yeah, it's not on discount or anything for sure for the event, so I'm not going to be covering the exact performance numbers though. And then yeah, obviously I went over that as already being the free vehicle for the month, basically. Yes, fuck ass hernia, bro. Come on, fuck. Yes. Went over that, and then I went over the free vehicle now. Of course. Or I went over that a long time ago, Alright, done with that now. So to go over the last three things, basically, for the plus subscription, there is 2 times money on street dealers. I'm pretty sure I didn't mention that yet on this one. Yeah, street dealers, like the purple notifications you can find on the map sometimes, like the purple like speech bubble kind of icon or something. Where you can sell, like, I know for sure you can sell, like, the weed, meth, coke, and the acid. I don't think you can actually sell any other thing but those 4 product types. But yeah, the street dealers, you sell those to them. Those are 2 times money, basically, for the time being. And yeah, those only give money. I don't think there are RP at all on those. Higgins Helitours, by the way, is also 30% off if you have the subscription. Where I went earlier for the vehicle to get there. For my Kanata. But yeah, Higgins Helitours is 30% off if you do have plus. I think it's like 800 or 900k, I believe, and you have to own the car wash first. Do keep in mind, you have to actually own the car wash first to even get this. So there's like a there is a $1 million paywall at least. Yeah, fuck ass Arnia, bro. Come on. Fuck. But yes, keep in mind there is a $1 million paywall on this property since you have to have the car wash first. But after that, it's a like $800,000 one normally. Whatever that is, 30% off is basically the price of it. So you're basically saving a couple $100,000 here. You are basically saving a couple $100,000 for that new business if you don't yet have it. So cool for those that don't yet have it, I suppose. If you do, also have the $8 month subscription. Smoke on the Water, I believe, is the best one for grinding, I hear though. So Higgins isn't as good as that for grinding, but I do think Higgins is fine for the spawn convenience, of course, for the aircrafts. Having it. Fuck, I started you, bro. Come on. Fuck, I don't have time for this. Christ. But yes. Yeah, spawn convenience for the personal helicopters. If I got hernia, bro, fuck you. Yes. It might not be as good as the Smoke and Water for grinding, apparently. Maybe not having the hands-on car wash might actually be the worst of 3 for the money laundering missions for grinding. Possibly. For the things that were on like 2 times, like a couple weeks ago or something. But yes. Oh yeah, and it is worth noting, by the way, the Faber work isn't as good as the free mode stuff, of course, if I didn't make it clear earlier. I did on take 1, but not sure on take 2, of course. So yeah, it makes sense, honestly, with a real good grinding, of course, within the last couple fewish weeks, of course. There would be a mid-event for money-making saddle here with Faber work and not the money laundering, of course, since they already did that for each business already, and it's pretty new content, of course. It makes sense to have that again this week, of course. Fuck, I started. Yeah, come on. Fuck. But yes. Helicopter spawn convenience. Yes, helicopter spawn convenience. And a 10% boost on the hangar, whatever. It's not like a 30% boost on the weed encounter the cash, since it was already like in the millions on like the other 2 businesses, which I think were in the 100,000s. But yes. But yeah. Helicopter spawn convenience in the hangar base especially I think makes it very worthwhile. Definitely for about 30% off. Discount there. And then there is a ammo discount basically for 50% off. All ammo is basically 50% off. Doesn't matter if it's for this menu, the one you should be using for Plus subscription. I think there is a menu to buy ammo in the Plus app, right? Yes. Any source of buying ammo, basically, I believe is like 50% off. It seems really than for the subscription, basically. That's the last of the three things I believe I need to cover. I'll make sure, though, before I get going into the luxury autos, though, I'll bladder, but before I even talk about this vehicle, I'll make sure on that, though. So Plus should be all wrapped up now, I believe. We're stuff to go over for that. Just to be absolutely clear, Plus promotions definitely near the garage or whatever. But yes. So there's the Innis Minimus as well as the Grotti LCMG, the classic apparently on the luxury autos apparently okay. But again, let me make sure I have everything wrapped up on the Plus subscription. I believe I do. Should have been the last three things I covered, of course, there. And then, of course, I forgot the vehicle list, so I made sure to cover that as well, of course. Yeah, street dealer sales, 30% off Higgins Salvatores, and then the ammo. Okay, I wasn't on the newswire when I went over those, I just pretty much remembered off of take one, basically, so good. Yeah, everything from there is a persistent benefit, everything on that newswire from there is persistent benefits that you get all the time, basically. So obviously I mentioned those for that reason. But yes, you have two new vehicles and the latest DLC for luxury autos. So again, with the Innis Minimus sedan vehicle, I think it's an A tier for sedan, I believe, for this one actually. So it's alright. Might be within top 10 definitely, but yeah, just alright. I wouldn't say it's as good as this one though. Again, it's a tuner subclass. Only tuner subclass is sports classics, which is pretty cool. I already mentioned everything basically with that though already, actually with plus, right. Actually, might have explained it in extra time. Actually, let's take one basically. Yeah, might have kind of forgot that. But still. Alright, so over to the last dealership for Siemens. So I can go over the last of those for you. All 5 of those, I believe, were bolted vehicles, if I remember right, basically. So I'll be going over removed vehicles, dates, section of the spreadsheet for those. Won't be going over actual performance since they're not on discount. I'll make predictions of performance and stuff, or whatever I usually kind of do when they're not on like a discount though. Yes. So here you have also links from the Cunning Stunts DLC, OG Cunning Stunts DLC, really. Western Wolfsbane from Bikers DLC. Both of those are 2016 and therefore online exclusives. Vaca from day one of the game, same with the Kenneth Bodhi, Pegasi Vaca, Kenneth Bodhi, and then the Vapid Retinue, I believe, was added in this. I believe it was added in the Smuggler's Run DLC, basically. Yeah, I think the original Retinue was definitely in the Smuggler's Run DLC. For, like, the Mark II one, of course, which was, like, Casino Heist, of course, whatever. So yeah, that's also a non-exclusive for that third one there. So only these two are in single player for these two. And are therefore the only two you could test out with fully customized before buying them, basically. Like an online, of course. All that effectively. But yeah, the Assault Links, this one's pretty infamous for its high, like 1.7 million back then in 2016, like, price tag. And then its performance is also pretty mid as fuck, apparently. Basically, it was also not very good performance for the price tag. So I know this one's definitely not good performance for the sports class, sadly. It's just a pretty expensive sports car. So that one you're going to want for the customization, personal preference kind of reasons, really. Western Wolfsbane, probably not that expensive, of course, but yeah, it's a chopper-based motorcycle, so obviously it's pretty much not going to be really anywhere for the performance, really. But yeah, it's probably not really what to get for performance, but more for the customization, personal preference reasons, of course. Gazi Vaca, day one supercar, only like a couple $100,000. Only, yes, like a couple $100,000, basically. But yeah, it's day one supercar, so I guarantee it doesn't perform that great. Surely. Kenneth Bodhi, honestly, did the protagonist vehicles ever have very good performance even when they first released? Probably not. It's probably just more to fit their personality rather than being performance-heavy vehicles, of course. Yeah, that was basically Trevor's vehicle for story mode, so it's a really easy one to get access to test out for the single player, fully customized and everything. Once you do some heists and stuff in single player, basically, you don't even have to like find it randomly like the Vodka or something. Test it out there, basically. Though I don't know, you might be able to buy it in single player actually for the Vodka. Not sure. Like, it's a cool, iconic vehicle for the story mode, don't get me wrong, but performance-wise, it's just surely not going to be there. And then you have the Vapid Retinue, which obviously there's Mark II one, like I said, that was added in Casino Heist, so, like, obviously it's not going to be good performance then if there's a better version of it for the Mark II one. Both surely are sports classics, so obviously Retinue Mark II is just going Retinue Mark II is just obviously going to be a sports classics that's better. I should probably check on my stream, make sure that's going fine, of course. I didn't get a pop-up this time, of course, but it should be fine, I'm thinking. Yes, good. Better stay fine, though. On, like, take one, basically. Alright, right. So, again, these aren't on discounts. I'm not going to go into performance, like exact performance numbers, so I'll just be going over the remove vehicles dates, basically. Alright, but yes. But Assault Links, apparently, as of being vaulted 2 years ago, Sandra's Mercenaries DLC, the DLC that removed like hundreds of vehicles from the website. It's been on dealerships 8 times now, apparently, since this event, basically. And apparently that's the only one that's been available 8 times. So this particular event. The Wolfsbane, apparently, that one's been available 6 times now in a different dealership since being vaulted 2 years ago, 2+ years ago. Alright, the Baka, apparently that one's been available 9 times in dealerships as of this time of appearing on the dealership. Apparently. So that's just like the click and the quit over at the LS car meet. And then Knis Bodhi, that one's appeared for the 6th time now in the dealership since being vaulted 2+ years ago, Sandra's Mercenaries DLC. This and the Wolfsbane, by the way, with 6 appearances, has the least appearances of any of the vehicles of the 8 vaulted vehicles that's appeared on the dealerships. For the particular one event here. And then the regular Mark 1 retinue, the basic retinue, is like the exemplar over at the LS car meet where it's appeared 7 times on dealerships as of this event since being vaulted. Since being vaulted. So that's how many times they've appeared on dealerships and stuff since being unavailable on the different websites, of course, between each event they've appeared, basically. Fuck, I turn you. Yes, Retinue did appear 7 times. As of this appearance on the different dealerships, yes. Alright, finally done for the different dealerships, so going to go over any remaining money opportunities, discounts, stuff. Might only be one more remaining money opportunity if I remember, and then probably go to Salvage Yard and go over the... Actually, there's 2 if you technically consider the priority file. If you consider the priority file, there's actually technically 2 of them. However, they don't ever mention priority file since they always just change it and it's for each week. So it obviously happens kind of all the time, so they won't really mention it basically. Well, for priority file, it's more of a game mechanic than an actual money opportunity. Arguably, it's more of a game mechanic. That one's like 2 times, 1 time only in like each event, rather than like going out the way to make it 2 times per se. Again, as a reminder, this was the weekly challenge, by the way, I already covered that though, since it was on the main menu, so I'll just put it here as a reminder, basically. And anyone get 100k for that weekly challenge I showed earlier again. And the game didn't mention anything, but yeah, no clothing item, obviously. It didn't mention clothing items, obviously there was no clothing item as expected, And yeah, completing the Mr. Faber work apparently does increase your heat, which is why you need to have no heat, like if you have max heat or whatever, of course, like was kind of maybe seen earlier, of course, close quarters. Alright, so for turning game modes or anything, they don't really do that for arena, I'm for sure. Yeah, target assault's not back. Stunt race, there's nothing different. It's just your traditional stun transform. That's it. Nowadays.
Hey, Derek.
Race types. I think it's pretty much the car pre-go and then no wheel. Those aren't in the game for sure right now. Yeah, no. I think they only return stuff if it's for like money opportunities nowadays, honestly, but it's just in case if you like to kind of cover it, basically. Death matches, there's that car crash full auto they had at one point, and like obviously all kinds of like festive ones or something. I don't think any of those are back. Capture, I don't think they do anything with that for vaulting and stuff, so it's in the last time game deal. Survival is really like a festive one, so obviously probably none at all being brought back here, of course. Yes, indeed. Missions, they had ones I think back in 7th gen only, I believe, or something. But those might have been flat out deleted, or if they're not deleted, they've just flat out never brought them back at any point or anything. No versus. Yeah, nothing for Christian, definitely. So yeah, it's just atmosphere mode, which is here 2 times for one of the last couple 2 times things going on. Stockpile 1 to 7, so stockpile atmosphere mode is back. First map is Pillbox Hill, second map Chile Mountain State Wilderness, third map Grand Moore Desert, fourth map Mandak Dam, fifth map Cypress Flats, sixth map Ratton Canyon, seventh map Grand Moore Desert. Yeah, I read the description, I think last take, and it sounds like it's like basically a capture the flag, but with like airplanes, which is kind of pretty cool sounding. I feel like it's disliked as much as it is, or whatever, like with only like 50s and like 40s for rating, because let's be real, a lot of the GTA player base probably doesn't know how to fly for shit. Probably a bunch of youngins and stuff don't be knowing how to fly for shit, because they're playing the game way too fucking early or something. But yes. Yeah, adversary modes in general to kind of pay off of like the amount of time. I feel like how the game mode plays out also determines the amount of time, so obviously that's kind of a factor as well. Amount of players, which just when 16 players, it's actually pretty decent, because I think last time it was only like up to 8 players for some of the maps. Like stuff they brought back. Basically. But honestly, no matter what factors to consider, I feel you only make like at most like a couple $100,000 an hour, like regardless of like times and money and stuff. You don't really tend to make more than like a couple $100,000 an hour. That's the thing. A lot of pause money opportunities aren't really for making money. They're more modes of fun. Really, the most arguably like serious ones in the pause money for like grinding things would be contact missions. I feel heists and stuff, obviously those kind of happen like in properties, and like a lot of other things are in like free mode and stuff, so a lot of your least paying stuff is actually in the pause menu. Just to be clear, I would say. Just to be clear, I would definitely Huh, Dr. Dre. Dr. Dretard, Dr. Dretard, Dr. Dretard, though. Wants me to go over to the record studios, apparently. Like, nah. And just to be clear, I don't hate Dr. Dre or anything, quite the opposite, actually, though, for his music and shit. I just meme his ass, I just meme his ass, basically, with his name being close to retard and stuff at the end, basically. But yeah, last money opportunity, like I was basically saying earlier, that is priority file. Again, it kind of happens every week, so it makes sense to really bring it up on the news wires. Kind of just has like a mechanic that kind of goes on. But it's the brute force file this time around. I think last time was Project Breakaway. But yeah, brute force is not one of the better two to grind. The top ones aren't really the better ones to grind. It's more the bottom ones are the better one to grind. It's more the bottom ones apparently are the better ones to grind. Yes. Apparently these are the quicker too and stuff to do. Apparently, some people say brute force is the worst. In my opinion, it's the second worst. I really like the stealth and stuff on this mission. I'm not really a big fan of the amphibious of the black box. There can be times where you die if you don't snack up in the water and stuff. I feel, which is kind of annoying. Which can be kind of annoying. So I do kind of like this one better. At least compared to black box. Anyways. Yes, fuck us, Hernia. Come on, fuck. I do like this better than the black box, no doubt. Okay. Now over now to the salvage yard so I can go over those vehicles. Yeah, fuck ass hernia, bro. Come on. God, you're such a bitch. Fuck.
What's up?
Yes. Quick note, I find it ironic that Boost Dangerous Mercenaries added the register as a boss feature. But yeah, it's funny to update after they just didn't like add the feature to change the COMC to this particular computer. At least I know there's other ones that do that too, but that one is the most ironic. I feel for that reason. But yes. Albany Cavalcade XL. Added during the Chop Shop DLC. Same DLC actually added this salvage yard robbery stuff in the first place. I think it was a drip feed vehicle during that, not day one of the update, but whatever. SUV class. Seemed like the 10s or something at best, I would say. Not necessarily the greatest for a vehicle to use on one of these per se, but whatever. It's so low, it's the standard range vehicle, I believe, is what they called it. Like lowest ones of import-export, so yeah, I'll call it a standard range vehicle. Whatever. This one is apparently part Duggan robbery, apparently, for the arena robbery. Apparently. And yeah, I don't know what any of the vanity plates are, by the way, if I don't mention it again. But yeah, I don't know what any vanity plates on these would be. Not that matters, since they're not ownable as, like, not claimable vehicles, of course. For these particular free on this week, of course. Fuck, I starting to come on, fuck. Yes, it says max sell value $263,000 and a salvage value of $210,400. Okay. And then you have the Bravado Buffalo EVX. Which again, I talked a ton about this one already being the plus free vehicle for the month. Yeah, this one's the mid-range vehicle, basically. This one's actually part of the podium robbery, pretty sure. And this has a max sale value of $388,000 and a salvage value of $310,400, apparently. And then, last but not least is Pegasi Ignis, added during the contract DLC. Supercar for that, of course. Non-weaponized version of that weaponized Ignis I went over for the plus subscription. Car Club, of course, for the different vehicles featuring there for the month. Of course. Yeah, standard non-HSW, like non-weaponized one. Probably has to be the standard non-weaponized one since they don't actually have that vehicle at all in the 8th gen platform for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. Legacy, even for the non-HSW version, they don't even have the standard version of that vehicle in the game. Apparently. Yes. This one is part of the... Oh, I already mentioned DLC though, but for robbery, I mean, it's part of the McTony robbery. I'm in. Has a max sell value, $391,000, with a salvage value for $12,800. Let me make sure on the GT series videos community post that was correct, but again, this is take 2 to stream since take 1 decided to end randomly after I was talking about the sea breeze, so fucking yeah. I have to go over that again and stuff, or make sure on it, basically. And right. For some reason, since I don't watch it much at all and stuff. Yeah, I don't really watch that. I don't really watch GTA series videos much as I don't commentate. Not, I don't find anything wrong with not commentating, of course. I just am more interested in commentated content, of course, quite frankly. Yeah, I should remember information. I think everything I said was correct for the robberies and stuff, of course, since again this was take 2 to stream since stream ended after I was talking about Seabreeze, basically. Yeah, I know it's a hint at the first discount we talked about. Whatever. Kind of have to. Kind of hinting at it. Maybe. Yeah, Cavalcade was Duggan. EVX was Podium, and then, yeah, Ignis is McTony. Okay, I got those right. Good.
You need something? Catch you later.
The Arena and Benny's apparently don't have anything. Again, I know because I was talking a lot about Seabreeze, since that was the only discounts we were able to talk about when I got to talking about all the remaining discounts before my stream just shit itself randomly. Which better not do this fucking time, that's for sure. No, that's for sure. But yes. So on a trade price anyways, Seabreeze is $850,000, so $510,000, mine's $340,000. Buy it now price, probably like $1 million, 1.1 million at least. At least. And the way you get the, and yes, if you don't have the trade price, the way you get the trade price is tied to a set amount of like hanger sales, I believe. If you want to do it really quick, I think you just sell like one thing of product each time for like a while until you get like all the trade prices or something. I think that's kind of how I did it, if I remember right. Getting all of them pretty quick at times. But yeah, the Seabreeze. Seabreeze. Very good amphibious aircraft though. Yeah, I don't know what the amount is, by the way, on the like amount of sailors we need for the Seabreeze in particular. I know it's more than 3, because when 3 was ultra, and I did a review guide on that one, so I already mentioned that basically. But yes. Yeah, Seabreeze is a very amphibious aircraft, actually. I've heard people even put this like upside down and stuff, I believe, for like orbital cannons. Gets accounts of vehicles destroyed, but like floats up and stuff. So it's actually invincible for an orbital cannon. People do that. Kind of a fun fact about that. It's very amphibious. You could actually do super hard landings, even like straight, not even being upside down. I was just kind of bringing up one example there. You could do literal hard landings, and this thing can be pretty fine from what I've heard. So it's a very fun vehicle to mess around with for amphibious, like in the water and stuff, definitely. For weapons, I think it just has front-mounted machine guns, and actually I think it has bombs to it as well, actually. But yeah, no missiles, though. But yeah, front-mounted machine guns, pretty good. Or not really, not really, though, like I've kind of mentioned. On this vehicle, I believe they are on each wing, so the reticle, the guns will actually shoot like on the sides of that reticle, I believe, since it's on like each wing, of course, just keep that in mind, it's not center mounted. It's probably going to be hard to do much with the guns on a Seabreeze. I'm not actually too sure if it's that good for dogfighting or not, top of my head per se, from what I've heard. I will say that. Though. I wouldn't be surprised if it is kind of good at dogfighting somehow. Not that I do dogfight much, but still. Maybe you can somehow get some cockpit snipes or some crazy shit with the guns on this. But yeah. It is pretty nice for amphibious missions if you need to do like hard landings for some reason. And don't need to stay in a vehicle much when you're doing your amphibious mission. But quite frankly, I don't find it as good as the Sea Sparrow for amphibious mission grinding. Definitely not, since Sea Sparrow actually has missiles as an option. And therefore I consider it the best amphibious grinding vehicle. Also being a helicopter as well, and a lot easier to land again if you need. But yeah, this definitely can be a nice grinding vehicle depending on like what you're doing, especially if you're in amphibious missions. We got bombs, I'm pretty sure it does have bombs, I believe. But yeah, again, I believe it does. I believe it just has machine guns and the bombs to. So that was one of, I believe, 2 elitist discounts. Other one, I believe it was day 1 actually for online only, and not even single player actually. Yes, with the Annihilator. Yeah, that's the thing with the Annihilator in this game, sadly, is it's not in single player, it's just in online. Oh, and yeah, as a reminder, by the way, there's no property discount, there's apparently just vehicle discounts. There's yes, apparently just vehicle discounts, that's for 2 weapon ones I recovered, basically.
And yeah, every vehicle discount, I believe, was 40% off, just to be clear. Starting with the Seabreeze onward, and like every vehicle discount, quite frankly, is a 40, I believe, this time. But yes. From 1,825,000 to 1,095,000, that's $730,000 off. It looks like. Okay. Alright amount, I guess they're still $1 million. I don't think it has a trade price, of course, since it's a day one vehicle. I don't think it really has a trade price for that reason. Again, it was day one GTL 9. It was not in single player at all. It was actually debuted October 1st, 2013, and not September 17 for that reason. That reason. But yes. Getting $730,000 off. Sorry, I don't know why I took such a break per se, but still. So I think that was just bothering me or something. The Annihilator, it's weaponized and stuff as well. Same vehicle from Grand Theft 4, of course. It's not like the episodes though, whereas the explosive cannons, it went back to traditional cannons like the original GTA 4 one did, I believe, but not the explosive cannons though, of course. Sadly, kinda. But yeah, I think it is actually kind of worth having as a personal aircraft again, now that the hangar slots got upped from 20 to 35. You have a Mackenzie hangar. 20-25 you just buy plus without Mackenzie, and have a smuggler hangar, of course. 40 if you have the regular hangar, smuggler's hangar, and plus, or whatever. With 35 and 40 storage slots, I think the Annihilator is once again worth owning in a hangar again, which is actually very nice, I would say. Giving you a lot more spawn convenience once again. And yeah, the machine guns are actually said to be some of the best helicopter machine guns in the game. People actually say the helicopter machine guns have actually downgraded over the years instead of like upgrading over the years, actually. People say they're more pea shooters than they were back then, even with like the Buzzard and Annihilator. Those ones I think have like faster rate of fire and whatnot. Plus the guns are like beefier, and I think they shoot more for that reason or something. Instead of being like instead of being like inky dink like pea shooter machine guns, basically. So it's pretty cool, pretty cool. You could surely definitely do some nice grinding with this vehicle, even if there's obviously better options to actually have missiles in order for like it's infinitely better. Even you can still do some kind of good grinding, I'm sure, with this vehicle, definitely. Even if it's lower, of course. So 2 latest discounts, pretty good stuff right there. Definitely. Alright, Legendary Motorsport. And yeah, by the way, there was 9 vehicle discounts, I think, after the 3 that were on the main menus. I think now there's 7 left to cover, I believe, for vehicle discounts. And discounts in general, even since apparently there's a property discount. This event for non-plus, for non-plus, of course, aside for the 30% Higgins for plus, of course. That was the only one, basically, and it's only for plus, of course. Yes, Russo, I think, was the only one for a while on here. And that was already covered on the main menu, of course. Like I started, bro. Come on. Okay. So it looks like for the finance and bounty DLC, next one here is actually the Karate Bestia GTS. This is a 2016, mid-2016 vehicle here, pretty sure, so it is online exclusive. Fuck SRN, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Yes, again, this is mid-2016 for Finance Bounty DLC, so... This was kind of like around the start of the online exclusive vehicles, basically. Or like almost a year to like a year of like online exclusive vehicles, basically. Going from $610,000 to $366,000. Also, I kind of want to say this might actually be a return vehicle from like the 2D universe, like the games actually, for GTA like 1 and like London games like 2. I think this might be a GTA 1 vehicle right here as well, if I remember right, actually. I might be wrong there, but if it is, then there's some retro nostalgicness to be had with this vehicle as well. Yeah, 610, 366. $244,000 off, I think, on this one. This one works 40% off discount. No trade price on this, pretty sure. Pretty sure it's the price everybody will have. And this one is a sports car. And I'm apparently getting voicemailed. What the fuck? Why am I getting voicemailed right now? Bruh. It's only 5:20. It's not even like 6-ish or something for dinner or something that I need to eat. For a family dinner or something. Like, fuck off, please. Bruh, why am I getting phone calls now, too? God, it's so annoying. I don't have time for this right now. God. Fucking annoying. This happens all the time anymore. Jesus Christ. On, bro. I'm not gonna pick up or nothing. Yeah, eat a home dinner. I'm not even having to exit the house for it, it seems. So, like, why are y'all even fucking bothering me, bro? Like, fuck. Stupid. Actually. I'm an adult, I get it myself, and she's just a stupid bitch, even if I don't come down for like, eating or something for breakfast, even. Fuck off, bitch. Old ass, coot ass bitch, bro. Fuck, bro. Annoying. Oh, Jesus, man. I don't know why people like being so annoying in this fucking world. Jesus, bro. One of many things wrong with this shit fucking goddamn planet world and everything. I swear. But again, sports class, by the way, if I didn't say this is a sports car, one of many, like 117 sports cars, so it's probably not that good anymore nowadays. I'm guessing this was way back in 2016. But yeah. Yes. Sorry, I was getting all distracted by a hella voicemail, phone calls, like little no good reason whatsoever. Just to wake me up for dinner. I'm already fucking up, bro. Like, God. Is it such a hard concept to understand? Like, not going downstairs and you're not fucking goddamn up, bro. Like, it's not such a hard concept to understand, people. Christ. Like, fuck, though. Maybe I just didn't want to eat breakfast for a day or something. Since I'm doing this live stream after all. Not that they know, but I don't fucking care. Jesus, bro, I got me all over the place. Sorry for all this delay here. Have my phone blown up for stupid reasons. Okay, there's 16 F tiers. Okay. But yes. So yeah, Bestia GTS apparently though it is a F tier for the sports class, which yeah, F is obviously kind of pretty bad. Yes, Bestia GTS very much is F tier for sports class. It's a 53rd place lap time as well as a 67th place top speed. Okay, so top speed even with -6, 61 of like 117. That's not good. That's below average for the whole class. So right away, not good for top speed literally at all, I would say. And then the lap time only goes up at best to like 47, pretty sure. Not even in the 20s or 30s, and that's after even the 10s. Yeah, even if that's above average, like there's just much better options out there, obviously, for a performance standpoint. So really, it's more of a customization, personal preference. Possibly a 2D universe vehicle for my Grand Auto 1, London 1961, London 1969, or GT2, if I'm remembering correctly, of course. So that's fine. The first legendary motorsport discount again. Sorry, my phone was just getting blown up like a bitch for like no fucking reason. Okay. So on the 4-door, apparently there is the Gallivanter Baller STD apparently for Chop Shop DLC. Does this even have a trade price? I don't really think so. A lot of Mindtech stuff I don't think has a trade price unless it was from the initial contract DLC batch, of course. It's where they were incorporated for like VIP contracts and stuff. $1,750,000, $1,029,000, $14,000 away from $700K. So what, like $686,000, I believe, on the savings? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Alright, so this one says it has the remote control unit, it's a lock-on chamber. Yeah, it's kind of weird thing on this one. I think this one, unlike other ballers, does not actually have armor plating for some reason. It might have fluorescent glass, at least. I kind of forget. It might even have fluorescent glass, but not armor plating for whatever reason. Kind of a weird decision given all the other armored ballers in the game at this point, but still. So it sounds like it just has the bare minimum of the missing lock-on chamber remote control unit for the most part, not even a slick line. Going off of the description. Still, any lock-on jammer kind of being like a Monitech feature at all is better than nothing, of course. So kind of nice. It's sure better than the Baller ST, the like predecessor to it for the Baller ST in contract. Didn't have any of the Monitech features at all, and that was in the update I entered. And yes, that was in the update I introduced the whole feature of the Monitech for the initial Baller ST added in the contract DLC after all. It's in the SUVs class, of course. I think it's actually pretty good in the class as well, if I remember right. Yes. Baller STD is apparently in the S tier for the SUVs class, so yeah, pretty good for lap time for sure. 6th place lap time, 12th place top speed apparently as well. Yeah, if you take away HSW, of course, it automatically becomes in top 10 also for the top speed, since there's 4 HSW SUVs in the game. All which should be better top speed, since HSW actually prioritizes in top speed, technically speaking. So it's actually a very good performing vehicle, especially for lap time, regardless of your platform. Only on like PS4, Xbox One, PC, legacy platforms, it's really gonna be like always good on top speed, pretty much at the current moment at least. I kind of doubt like a last DLC, assuming that it truly will be the last update for like a winter 2025 DLC or something before 6 comes out or something. Assuming there's just one more update, I would highly doubt there'd be that much of a shakeup in the SUVs for top speed on those platforms at least. So this one's always found to be good in some way, shape, or form for both metrics. for this update, of course, and probably even the next one, and like a final one even. Very good vehicle. I would definitely say it's a pretty damn good pickup there. Because obviously, again, you can disable HSW and erase some of these platforms too, so it can hit that good top speed on the newer platforms as well, depending on the situation. And then, yeah, that was apparently it. Yeah. Okay, so DR1 might not actually be the best one. I think it is BRA, if I remember right, going into earlier, plus being again. So I think there's 5 more vehicles to cover. Warstock, I think, still has some sides for that Hydra that was already mentioned, of course, on the main menu, of course. Yeah, I think it popped up earlier. I can't forget that acknowledge, but yeah, that's still going to whatever. Or actually, that was the last take. I think I forgot to mention that. Not this one. This one I actually did. Okay, so the Rogue, apparently, we're playing over here. Going from 1.2 million over to $720,000. On a trade price, again, keep in mind, Smuggler's Run as well, so I believe it's the same kind of gimmick for the trade price. You need to do a certain amount of, like, hangar sales to get the trade price. And I shall mention, again, it came out with only the air sales, so it's hard to say if the land sales count, so just keep that in mind. You might need to do the air sales for those trade prices, I'm not really sure. Then maybe it's just sales in general for the business, so it could be count the land ones. We had a Rogue. Actually, a 2-seater aircraft again for that low of a price, pretty good. On a trade price from 1.2 million to 720,000, that is 480,000 savings, I believe, right there. And even puts a 6-digit, pretty good 2-seater for that price. It's very insane. Weaponry has regular machine guns or the explosive machine guns, I believe. And I do believe it has missiles as well, but I believe they balanced it being a cheaper vehicle that it does have a missile cooldown, so it's like the Hydra where you have to wait a couple seconds after you do like 2 missiles at a time or something. Not unlimited on the missiles, unfortunately. Like, spamming of the missiles. Like, yeah, it has unlimited missiles since it's aircraft, a lot of them do. So that's why the B-11 Strike Force comes to mind. The unlimited missiles, but yeah. Not unlimited on the spammability of them. It does have to wait a couple seconds like the Hydra does. For sure on the missiles. So that can be a little bit of a deal breaker on this vehicle. But again, it does have machine guns as an option, I think. And then you do have explosive cannons, but you can't have both at the same time, which is kind of fun. Explosive cannons is pretty unique for aircraft. Given the cheap price, explosive cannons are pretty nice. Like, they're actually pretty... They're... I think the explosive cannons are actually pretty powerful on this plane. It's just hard to hit targets with them, I think, because of, like, the handling of it or something. It's not really that great for this aircraft or something. Plus, yeah, it's one on each wing, whereas the Hydra, I think, is more centered on explosive cannons. I think it seems all the fighter jets, I think. But yeah, I don't think the explosive cannons on this one got nerfed for good reasons. It's not necessarily that great. Explosive cannons compared to other ones back then, of course, before they got nerfed 2 years ago, like I said. Yeah, very good. Very, very good aircraft. I don't know if it has bombs on top of my head. It might not. Oh, it does say a bomb bay actually on there, so it might actually. Yeah, this one's pretty unique, having explosive cannons, which not a lot of aircrafts have. So a very good vehicle, definitely super good. Definitely very much a very good vehicle discount. Okay. Also another good vehicle discount here, but weaponized Tampa, apparently. speaking of weaponized Tampa, it's actually on its sale. Which, yeah, I looked at them kind of, so I actually kind of knew that, but, like, I didn't go over it, of course, till, like, now. But I was comparing the weaponized Ignis to this. This is much better, basically, like I was basically saying. But yes. At a minimum, it comes with the basic, like, turret on it with the one gun. I don't think it's rotatable if it's just one gun. I think you need both guns for, like, the research one to have the 360-degree rotation I was talking about earlier. You can add missiles to this. I just mean you have to add them and it doesn't come with them, so yes. I think it's limited to like 20 or 30 of them, and then they also don't lock on. They actually don't lock on to targets at all, so there's no missile lock on. They're just, they literally don't even lock on at all. They're just standard missiles. So you have to actually like aim your hood. So yes, you have to like aim your hood where you're gonna want to like have the missiles go. Basically, you can't really go for aircrafts because it can't lock on and stuff. Of course. Unless you can somehow aim the hood upwards or something from like a stunt jump or something. It does have access to proximity mines, I'm pretty sure, for the vehicle proximity mines. Just be careful with it though, no explosive resistance on this vehicle. It will blow up on its own proximity mine if you do run over one, of course, with no armor plate at all on it. And if there is armor plate, it's just cosmetic for the most part. It's not actually adding armor to this particular vehicle. I do remember. And then it does have like a mortar, like grenade launcher kind of thing on the back, like on the trunk. It can basically fire like kind of grenade things from the back as well. It would also do the kinetic mortars a couple years later, like 1 year later, I think, even for like certain arena vehicles. It's similar to that if you use like an arena vehicle. Before I go a little further, actually, again, on the trade price, 1,585,951,000. Trade price for this one's tied to like a mobile operations mission you do in like your MOC, I believe, called like Mole Hunt or something. I believe is what the weaponized Tampa one is called. So you have to do that first, I think, to get the trade price. So that requires only a bunker and an MOC at least to get the trade price on this vehicle. But yes. 585,000, 49, almost 50. 634,000 or something, I believe, for the savings. Sounds right, yeah. Yes. Pretty good. And again, you can upgrade the gun here as well to dual turret. It allows you to do 360-degree rotations. And with that, it actually has a pretty interesting use, especially for contact missions, I find. I find this to actually be a very good vehicle for contact missions, and that's because it has the fully rotatable gun. I find this to be best for taking out moving targets when you don't need to destroy a vehicle and you need to save a vehicle for like an objective or something. So if you need to deliver like a tank or something, for example, with like the Lamar missions that we worked on 2 times last week. Weaponized Tampa, it's good for taking out moving targets and keeping the vehicle intact. So that is a very valuable thing it can do that only it can really do all that well, I find, in this game. Or it sure does the best job at it, at least compared to other things, for sure. Since you don't even need a passenger for that, you can just be the driver of it and you get to control the whole gun by yourself. Yeah, Weaponized Tampa is a very good discount, definitely. Definitely does serve a good purpose for certain contact missions. Again, like those gas tankers on like some of the Mars, if you need to get those, this will be the best for certain contact missions, I think. This will be the best for certain contact missions, yes. Certain pickups not on discount, just switched up at the moment because I owned it before they had it for free in 2018 for best price 2018 for sure. Same goes with the buzzard. And yeah, I already talked about the Hydra since that was on the main menu, of course. Alright, so I'm kind of doubting there's any boat discounts right now. Same with cycles. Probably just stubborn at this point. I think there's like 3 left to talk about, I think. Yes. It's like 3 left for discounts on the vehicle discounts and discounts in general, since apparently there's no property discount for the general event. And yeah, they're all in fact on Southern, no boats. And obviously no cycles, since there's like none of those at all. Anyways, and they're super affordable as it is. As it is. Alright, so these 3 are the last ones, okay. So, onto the Volcar Nebula Turbo. Is this a Casino Heist vehicle or something? I forget. Might be Diamond Casino Resort, but they might have added it to the list of vehicles for Diamond Casino Heist to use or something. So it could have a trade price, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking it doesn't actually. Actually do. $318,800 or something. I forget. It seems like that's kind of sale for 40% here. Fuck, I was tornado. Come on. Fuck. But Nebula Turbo, there might have been a regular there. There might have been a regular Nebula or something, like GT San Andreas, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Yes, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, yes. Yeah, I think that had a regular Nebula, but I don't think it was called Nebula Turbo back then, I don't think. But still, they're pretty much almost the same vehicle, practically, as far as I understand. So it is still kind of a cool throwback vehicle to that, at least, I would definitely say. Apparently has drift tuning available for the most car in the bottom of the garage. So it can be a drift tune vehicle if you care about drift tuning in free mode. No performance modifications are being for drift tuning though, so it's only really for enjoying it in free mode though. Practically no practical use to having drift tuning in free mode, it's just for enjoyment purposes of feel. So that can definitely be a good use for that. If nothing else, much really. Vehicle has like a body pillow thing, if I recall, for like a Princess Robot bubblegum livery, which is pretty funny. That's something I remember for this vehicle. It's kind of a meme with that. It's kind of a meme with that particular livery for sure. And this one's sports classes, I believe. Yes. It's apparently in the middle of K tier. It is, yes, apparently in the middle of K tier, being a 35th place. Lap time is what's 34th place top speed, and that's again out 50 sports classics. At best, that would be 33rd, 32nd, basically. Yes. Which out of 50, that's obviously below average for both metrics. So it's really for customization, personal preference, or for drift tuning, and it's really, it's not really a performance vehicle in this one. This one. So I'd probably skip it for the most part. Then. And then any off 2 muscle cars, it looks like here with the Faber GTX. Can't tell if somebody's knocking on the door, bitch, or what. Still. Jesus, bro. God damn, how hard is it to understand adults get themselves up, bro? Like, fuck. Annoying. I still have time, bro. Like, chill out. It's stupid. Alright, but yeah. Sorry, I got all distracted. I want to go back and see the update. I think it was Tungsten Resort as well, right? Or the other one. Oh no, this one's Seven Centuries Super Sports Series. I do kind of feel I remember this one actually being usable as a getaway vehicle, though. I might be wrong, though, for the Casino Ice, so it might have a trade price. And again, it would be like the one I kind of showed earlier for the Fury. It would basically be the same thing if it does have one. Otherwise, I don't think it does have a trade price. If not, then. If not, then. Yeah, 725,000 for 35,000. It's $290,000 discount right there. $290,000 discount right there for sure. But yes, performance-wise, for a muscle car class, at that cheap a price, I don't know if it's necessarily that good of a vehicle compared to other ones, but it's still. But apparently, it looks to be in the C tier for the muscle car class. And that is apparently good enough for 24th place, actually. Yes, fuck, that's right. Come on. Good enough for 24th place lap time, as well as 61st place top speed. Okay, so top speed is very much below average, since there's, what, like 5 HSWs now for muscle? Yes. Only brings it to 56, apparently, for top speed. All 5 are actually better than it for a lap time, even the Tampa GT apparently. So that would actually bring it to 19th place without HSW, which would be in the 10s, which is just out of top 10. So that's not necessarily too bad on the lap time, definitely. But also, there's just a lot better options still, though. So honestly, don't really know if I would go for this one. But it is pretty cheap anyways, if you do want it. Anyways. And in part, the exact same update for apparently. Which I do have a trade price on that one. Against the older vehicle, but I'm pretty sure it's tied to the Casino Ice. Even though it doesn't say it for its update name. Yes. So, hold on. 500 something-ish thousand, like 339. 200, like 26-ish thousand or something, maybe. I'm buying now for 23,050. 160-ish. 160-ish, 70-ish or something balance, and maybe on the trade price or something. Yeah, 160-ish balance, and I mean, they're definitely not going to go into exact numbers on that, since I have two prices to look at, but still. For the very last discount to go over for this whole entire stream, Rapid LE, another muscle car, probably worse performing than even the GTX, I'm guessing. At least for lap time. Yes. It is in the H tier for the LE for muscle car class, apparently, even at 59th place for lap time, and 66th place top speed. So that would be -5, 54, and 61st, it looks like. Okay. And for muscle cars, there's a total of 88, apparently. There's a total of 88, apparently, for muscle cars. It's really not good at all. So there's really no reason to get this one for performance compared to even the GTX, which they're kind of even slightly is. Like I was kind of getting on earlier. So yeah, this one's definitely just customization, personal preference kind of reasons. I would definitely say on the LE. Okay, so now if the stream cuts out, that's fine, because I've pretty much went over everything. On like the first take, at least. Alright, and it's still going pretty good. On like last time, at least. So I do want to go to the stash house, so it's actually not far from where I was at, apparently. Alright, I don't reload there, jeez. Especially because I can shoot through the stairs on this one, probably. With this tight ass interior, and yeah. I almost fair to use a assault shotgun, I just really like the old Strickler, of course, the tracers and stuff, why not. And still no new weapon, apparently, for this update at all, apparently, so. Still gonna be the latest DLC weapon as of this DLC, apparently, the whole time. 5291. Really hope it's not the last one, though. Just a reskin of the military rifle would be a sad final weapon of the game, though. No. Kind of thinking it won't be, though, but still. Again, I feel the whole, like, 6 delay situation might have to do if it won't get too far or whatever. 5291, right? Yes. Alright, really good numbers there. All really close to the start. Only got one with the analog, especially because I was kind of talking as doing it, as I was doing it or something, basically, yeah. Yeah, we're not going to be closing that door quite yet. Just trying to dip out, basically. Online character didn't let you close the door. Cool. Alright, weed farm. That would definitely be useful for the boost to the weed farm. Definitely. So yeah, yes, finally gonna finish off the HSW time trial like per usual, of course. If the time trial goes well enough, then it should be done before 4 hours, actually. Which wouldn't have been the case, of course, had I not been having to do a take 2. But whatever. Or most likely not, maybe. The event is kind of mid, so maybe it would have happened somehow. Right, not that. Obviously, yeah, one of all those discounts already. Ready.
You're through to your garage. You need me to...
Or actually,
okay.
I don't even need to do that. Should actually be in here. Yeah, it's just... Right. Just had to respawn it, of course, because I had to despawn it. Take one, and then, of course, take one failed, so I had to respawn it on the stream. So it was already there. Right. Probably have another look just in case, make sure it's not a property discount. Pretty sure it wasn't though. Pretty sure it was not though for the general. Then again, just a plus thing for the whole month to August 13. Which kind of makes sense. It's focused on like the new content of Mr. Faber work. So yeah, having a property discount wouldn't really make too much sense since they're not trying to make it easier for the like peasant non-plus players per se, as I say, to get one of the properties anyways, just yet. Alright, yeah, there's definitely no property discount, indeed. So it was quite literally just vehicle weapon discounts. Just being sure, of course. So yeah, I want to kind of take my gun out. Just go back unarmed, whatnot. And yeah, if I take my gun out, I'm in like back in my character's pocket or whatever. 3 minutes 46-second part time. Okay. Again, obviously I was marking that GPS route the first time. I was doing that shortcut, obviously that's pretty good shortcut to be doing. You pretty much feel it's essential to do that one because going for tail just saves so much time, I feel. Did a little bit of braking to try to get there. Seems to be going really good so far. Obviously so far, of course, but it's only just started. Probably gonna rig it by saying that, and I. Okay, is it the start of like about to be nighttime, or is it like turning to daytime? Actually, I'm not actually too sure. Actually, might be turning to nighttime. Kind of maybe breaking more than it should here, but it's so much traffic and stuff to do. Kind of allergic to the traffic, bro. No, my body's allergic to this traffic up there. I hit somebody apparently. Alright, kind of pretty good here, maybe. It's like maybe around half the time or so when I first got on the highway, and that might not be too bad. Okay, I was turning daytime, okay. I had a kind of feeling, but I don't know, it's kind of leaning towards the nighttime actually, to be honest. But I was like, I don't go out and look, so I remember there. In my head, of course, I mean. Because obviously I didn't actually say that till now. Oh shit, there's some coyotes right there. Like I said, pretty easy. In fact, all those tourist sport ones, like I again said, were definitely pretty easy ones, I would definitely say. They say. That didn't go as good as I would have thought. Okay, this might not actually be too good. I don't know. I'm not even at that bridge yet. It's about to be red. Come on, please, please. Nah, I don't think it happened. Damn it, I have to remark it now? Oh my god, barely had to remark it. Are you kidding me? That's gonna waste even more time now. Great. Great. Because I had to brake so much because of annoying traffic that I feel. Of course. Man, I almost had it first try. What the fuck? Fucking bullshit. Actually. Oh my god, I'm just redoing that. That's just felt wrong. Actually. Whatever though. Whatever though. I don't know how much better, if even. Not like this beginning part was real issue last time, I don't feel. But might have broke, of course. Oh shit, jeez. Okay, that went actually pretty fine. I didn't break as much and stuff. I'm like pretty good. Sheesh. Yeah, might be good, kinda still. I think. Okay, not seem too shabby. I can tell here. Hopefully. Oh, come on. Okay, that actually kind of worked, though. Thinking two different, like, things all there. What am I doing? Go, go, go! Go, go, go! How? How did I raise up there? What? I have 40. Seems better already. Will it be enough, though? I don't know. Don't really know, to be honest, yeah. I felt like I played it way too safe the last one, unfortunately. Unfortunately, without a break. Still felt like hella traffic for it this time, I feel, even. Or something. Shit. Yeah. I think it's going pretty good on this one. I'm getting convinced this one will do it, as long as I'm not unlucky or something. Yeah, there was like one vehicle kind of going to that one area, like I was getting in there too, like for a turn, I think. So, but that won't happen. That might kind of mess things up for all I know. For all I know, of course, because we're okay. Okay. I'm good, I think. Oh my god, that vehicle kinda bitch in the way. Alright, not even in the red, this is definitely good. Surely. Got it. No, I got it. Good. Okay, KK. That pretty much does it for this stream, I would definitely say. Sorry, her name's being a fuck ass bitch, but pretty much all is shadowing and fucking is more. Yes. Could finally be it for this stream. Next stream, probably GTA 9 event stream. Maybe I also, since of course 2 times happened on the Faber work, try to do a miscellaneous stream as well for the new contents of GTA 9 still that I need to cover, of course. Yes. Checking out my stream over time, just to be sure. Okay. Yes, 3 hours, 50-ish minutes now. Fine. Man, that's definitely not gonna be it for the stream, though. Hope you enjoyed, though.